Good.
Great. Happy
Um,
New Year.
all right, so Mr. Velozzi and Mr. Wine, put them back on the other side. Unless we're not ready yet.
We have another commissioner.
Good evening, Commissioner De Silva. You're muted. Right, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One of the items that's on the agenda for tonight is the reorganization. But given that we're at 5, I would want to give a larger number of commissioners an opportunity to chime in when we make the decision on who the leadership will be going forward. So while we have it proposed the reorg at the beginning of the meeting, I'd like to carry it to the end of the meeting. And perhaps we'll have more folks. It doesn't look like we have a very complicated agenda. So far, there are 2 adjournments.
Oh, there are.
2 adjournments and then 5 applications, 4 of them being very similar to each other. So what I'll do, we can start now, and then as folks come in, we'll bring them on aboard. Is that okay with everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Chairperson,
Yeah.
is Mr. Becht?
Yeah, that's true. Where is he?
Where is he? Oh, my goodness.
Send him an invite.
I did not speak with him today. Normally I speak with him before a meeting, but I certainly, if you'd like, I could text him.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello.
Commissioner Roundtree.
I'm going to have to change apparatuses, and
Okay.
my other phone is in the car. So, hello, Susan.
How are you?
New Year, everybody. Purdy. And there's 2 Susan. It's Susan Austin, and Susan Grill, and Amanda, and Elizabeth, and Leon, and Happy New Year, Charles and AJ.
Happy New Year to you.
Good to see you.
It's a blessing to be seen and not viewed.
I hear that.
Madam Chair, would you like me to try to get Dan?
She's on the phone with them now.
Oh, okay, great.
Or I should say, trying to reach him.
Yeah, he's says he's been having a difficulty getting on, but he says that he anticipates getting on shortly. So we can but no, we're still gonna need him when we do the adjournments.
I sent him a panelist link, so hopefully he received that.
Oh, right. So that's what I was saying to him, if you to check your email and just click the link.
If I was able to get on, then it means that it was definitely clear and simple because I am not a tech person.
Can they read the chat if we send them a note while we're on the panelist side? If we wrote something in the chat, would they be able to read it?
As long as you put it to everyone, then they'll be able to read it.
Oh, wait, it's that's all. Good evening, all. Thank you for your patience. They don't need to know more than that.
There we go.
Yeah, I can't get on. Is there any way you can text this information to my phone?
The link?
Yes. This way I won't lose anything if I have to, between going to my other apparatus. You have my number.
Do you have Outlook on your phone?
Huh?
Do you have Outlook on your phone?
Excuse, I can't do anything on this phone. I just need you to text it. And because I can do Zoom on this phone. So if you text
I
the link,
can't text Miss Roundtree.
Wait, so this is him. Yes, sir.
okay, let me have my assistant do it because he can do it.
Phone conference. So if this is recorded, I'm looking at the website and I have the last email and I'm just trying to.
I would see, what time was that email that you sent it today? It was 9 o'clock in the morning?
Yes, I sent one at 9. I also sent another around 4 o'clock.
9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yeah, I think I'm working off the 3 p.m. right now. That's the one I'm having trouble with and I'm frozen. But that being said, I'm on the phone. So if the voice is going through to everybody, we probably start the meeting without me on the screen till we at least establish that I'm on the screen.
Okay.
So if you want to.
Did he check his spam?
No, what he's having technical, he says he wants to call in. I'm not understanding.
I'm gonna resend
Yeah,
it.
send that to him again. And Madam Roundtree. Ms. Roundtree, can you pull the email up on your phone? Would you be able, the phone that you're going to switch over
If I
to?
could do that, I would just email this to my assistant so he can text me the link.
Okay.
If I could pull it up, I could do, on this phone, I have two phones. This
Okay.
apparatus is not linked to my email. And I gotta leave the building, that's so much to do. Hey, okay, when you reach in, okay. Which flyer? Okay, we'll leave.
Okay. I sent it by text to both of your phones. Do you see it, Reverend Roundtree? I'm getting ready to start. Let's see. One, two, two, three, four, five. I just sent it to your phone. This is again. Good morning. Yes, sir.
Hold on. Get some links. But if you can proceed with the notice and whatnot, and I can be on the phone for now.
Yeah, I just sent the link to your phone as well. Okay.
We're going.
What? Yes, sir.
Here we go. See, I'm on a whole new. All right, till I figure this out, why don't we just continue by voice for now? Does that work?
As the attorney, does that work for you to be on by phone? You want me to keep my phone on speakerphone, or are you going to call in through the platform? If you call in through Zoom, it registers you as present in the meeting.
I should be able to fix this situation. I don't know what it is, but I clicked on the first email from this morning and somehow I got jammed up, and then I clicked on the one this afternoon and but whatever. I mean, if you've read the notice and everything else, we could do the reorg at this particular juncture. And then if you want to proceed to the first application, I mean, obviously,
Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. We can go live now.
Recording in progress.
Welcome to a public hearing held today, January 12th, 2026 of the Newark Central Planning Board under the Open Public Hearing Act of 1973, also known as the Sunshine Law. In accordance with the New Jersey Public Laws of 1975, Chapter 231, Section 5, adequate notice of the hearing has been provided by notifying the Newark Star Ledger and the Jersey Journal newspapers. Also, the schedule of regular hearing and conferences of the Newark Central Planning Board has been posted on the designated bulletin board in the basement of City Hall and filed in the office of the city clerk during January 2026. In addition to adequate notice under the Open Public Meetings Act, electronic notice.
We good?
Electronic notice of this remote public meeting as permitted under NJSA 1049.3 was also placed on the City of Newark website. Members of the public can make public comments by audio and video as permitted by the Zoom electronic communication platform. Now, while in this Zoom meeting, press on Raise Hand on the bottom left corner of the computer screen or mobile device. Raise Hand allows participants to notify the host that they would like to speak without interrupting them. If you are calling in, press *9 on your telephone to raise your hand. The Central Planning Board will be mindful of the number of items on the agenda and will move as expeditiously as possible to complete the agenda. However, due to the amount of development requiring board review and the complexity of projects, it may not be possible to hear every item if the meeting runs later than 11 p.m. In the event that the agenda is not complete by 11 p.m. tonight, the board will finish hearing the application, which is in process of hearing, but no new application will be called after that item. Any applications that were not heard by that time will be rescheduled to the earliest available date. But no, which will be announced on the record if possible. The meeting of the Central Planning Board will now come to order. Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Austin,
Present.
Commissioner James,
Here.
Commissioner Da Silva,
Present.
Commissioner Roundtree.
She is here on the other side. Commissioner Roundtree, please raise your hand so that we can bring you over to the panelist side.
Commissioner Timmons, Commissioner Miles. Present. Commissioner Baez, Commissioner Jordan, Madam Chair.
Present. Madam Acting Chair is present. The first piece of business, if you all have access to the
I need to
agenda.
call Purdy.
Oh, Commissioner Purdy.
Present.
Oh, we can't do that. All right. So what we intend to do is to do the reorganization at the end of the planning board meeting. I know that there's some other members struggling to enter. Oh, and there they are. Can we please start with the adjournments? The first adjournment is application CPB 2591, 127 through 129 Hayden Terrace. If the applicants are present, please raise your hand. And I also just want to thank the public for their patience. We were definitely glitching this evening. Good evening, Ms. Diaz.
Good evening. Can you hear me or no?
We can hear you.
No.
There's some delay. Are you the attorney for
Good
the
evening. Can you hear me
application?
now? Yes, I am.
Okay. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Good evening. My name is Cristina Diaz Salcedo Conofoli. I'm here on behalf of 441 Summer 2 LLC, the owner and applicant of the property located at 127, 129 Haddon Terrace. And I, at the request of the city, are adjourning the application. Therefore, we respectfully request that the matter is scheduled to the next available meeting and the notice be preserved with the board's consent. Additionally, agrees to waive all statutory time periods related to this application through April 30th, 2026.
Ms. Diaz, your audio is coming in and out. If you can repeat the last sentence with regards to the date of April 2026, that wasn't clear.
Okay, I apologize. I was just stating and agree all statutory time periods through April.
It's not better. It actually got worse.
To hear me better, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Do you need me to repeat it?
Yes, we didn't hear anything. It really was inaudible.
Okay, so I apologize for that. We're just requesting an adjournment at the city's request and that the application is scheduled to the next available date. We're also here to preserve notice and the applicant also waives any statutory time periods through April 30th, 2026. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Do we have a date available, Madam Secretary?
Yes, the next available date is March 9th, 2026.
Okay, that works.
So your application will be heard March 9th, 2026. And your notices are preserved for them. All right. Thank you so much, Ms. Diaz.
Great, thank you. I apologize. Have a good night.
You're welcome. You too. All right. The next adjournment is CPB 25-102. The address is 170 through 172 Ivy Street.
Good evening, Madam Chair. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Noemi Velozzi on CPB 25-102. We are also seeking an adjournment at the request of the city. Preserve all notices and give us the next date.
All right. Is there a date available, Mrs. Kim?
Yes, March 9th is also available.
All right. Does that suffice?
Thank you so much, Madam Chairman. Have a wonderful evening.
All right. We'll see you March 9th. Notice preserved. 102. All right. The next application that we're going to hear is CPB 2589. The address is 16 through 18 Oliver Street and 330 through 338 Mulberry Street. The attorney is Marsha Moore, and she's already up. Good evening, Ms. Moore.
Good evening, Chair, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everyone, members of the board, professionals. Just wanted to make sure before we begin that my entire team is on. I know everybody's been having a little technical difficulties today. Seems to be going on. Madam Secretary, if you can bring in Russell DeRosso, my architect Christian Cueto, Craig Pegaroy, traffic engineer, Marcella Trainer. Just looking Who else is it here? And Roberto Fajardo. He may decline, but he's part of my design team. Again, so I just wanted to begin, and again, Happy New Year to everyone. Marcia Moore from the law firm of Post Pollock on behalf of the applicant A&R Capital Limited Liability Company. This is a property that's located at 1618 Oliver Street and 330-330 Mulberry Street, and identified as Block 887, lots 23 and 34, both of which are located in the Living Downtown redevelopment plan. The two lots have various frontages. They front on Oliver Street, East Kinney, McCarter, and Mulberry. And tonight, this is an application to demolish the existing structures and construct a new mixed-use building consisting of 6 stories, 225 residential dwellings, retail space. Hi, Dan.
You can continue.
Okay, sorry. Retail space as well as 85 on-street parking spaces. You're here tonight that inclusive those parking spaces, there are 2 tandem spaces, 8 auto share spaces, as well as a number of amenities that our design team will be discussing. One of those amenity spaces includes outdoor space as well as a Zen garden that have the benefit of the architect presenting that application. This development team includes Pedro Gomes. Most of you, if not all of you, know Mr. Gomes, who is a highly respected figure in Newark and is well known to this board. He's completed a number of projects, at least 10 projects in the city of Newark, including the Envid buildings. And I can personally attest that his reputation speaks for himself, that he completes his building and on time in a timely fashion. I think this project you're here tonight, this vision with the design team, is a project that is thoughtfully envisioned and represents a redevelopment plan, and it symbolizes what Mr. Gomes and his design and his projects have entailed throughout the city that I've been representing him. Just briefly, tonight we are seeking preliminary and final site plan along with certain bulk variances. Ms. Gruhl has identified certain variances as part of this application. One of them is a parking variance that our design team and our planner and our traffic engineer will be addressing. One variance that we have eliminated is the unpermitted sidewalk 3-rail dimension that we will comply, so we're not seeking that variance. There is a variance that we will be requesting due to a design change, and that's respect to the floor height, and our architect will be discussing that. I am in receipt of a number of reports tonight. I just wanted to address the first report I am in receipt of is the planner's report. That report is dated December 29, 2025. Ms. Gruhl has asked us to identify a number of issues, clarification, and some comments, and we will be addressing that during the course of our presentation. There is one item as far as condition of approval that we would like to address during the course of our presentation, and that is the request to provide the service provider for the memorandum of understanding for the auto share, and we'll be asking that matter be provided as a condition of approval after the issuance of a building permit. I've had conversation with Ms. Gruhl, but we will be discussing that throughout our testimony tonight. That comment is also in the T&M Associates report. I am in receipt of an updated report today that's dated January 9th, 2025. Our engineer and our professionals will be addressing that report. One of those items that we would specifically like to highlight is item number 4 in the site plan, and that's 4, Roman numeral 4, that our engineer will be discussing. In addition, as I mentioned, a number of reports. Mr. Trafficante has issued 2 memorandums, and we will be discussing those memorandums as well. And it's tangentially related to T&M. I believe the memorandum that I received today from T&M incorporates Mr. Trafficante's technical review memorandum. Notices were provided to Madam Secretary. We were able to notify the property owners within 200 feet based on the certified list of property owners from the tax assessor. We've also posted a sign at the property. And last but not least, notice was published in the newspaper. So I have 4 witnesses tonight. My first witness will be our civil engineer, Christian Cueto, who will be giving you an overall description of the project and also identifying and addressing some of the engineering comments that have been provided to us. So,
Good evening, Mr. Cueto.
great.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
I miss you, but I do.
Thank you so much. Please state your name and affiliation for the record.
Christian Cueto with Harbor Consultants, 320 North Avenue East in Cranford, and I am the civil engineer for this project.
Mr. Cueto, is your license current and in good standing?
It is in good standing, and I've been before this board plenty of times.
You're accepted and you can proceed.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen now of our site plan that was previously submitted to this board. Just find it. There you go. Okay, I will be going to our sheet 2, which is our existing conditions plan. As Ms. Moore said, this is block 887, lots 23 and 34, located at 1618 Oliver Street, 330, 338 Mulberry Street. This fronts along 4 different streets: East Kenny Street to the north, to the west, Mulberry Street to the south, Oliver Street, and to the east, MacArthur Highway. And again, this is in the Living Downtown redevelopment area. Along the same block are a multifamily use, which is same block, lots 1, 35, and 36. And in the northeast corner is an Enterprise Rent-A-Car, which is lot 6. The surrounding area around the site is primarily commercial uses, with a parking lot on the opposite side of East Kenny Street, a commercial and residential uses across the street along Mulberry Street. There's a McDonald's on the opposite side of Oliver Street, and on the other side of MacArthur Highway is the NJ New Jersey Transit Railroad. The existing 2 buildings that are located on site, it contains various commercial uses along with a parking lot that uses both. The access into this parking lot is via a driveway along East Kenny Street and a second off of Oliver Street. The site is also located within a 15-minute walk to the Newark Penn Station Railroad. Going on to sheet 3, which is our layout and dimensioning plan. The applicant is proposing to construct a 6-story mixed-use building with ground floor commercial along Mulberry Street and 225 units, which include 106 studios, 99 one-bedrooms, and 22 bedroom units. Vehicular access into the building will be via a 2-way driveway off of East Kenny Street, which will lead to at-grade parking consisting of 85 parking spaces, 19 of which are EV spaces, with 2 of them being tandem, and 4 ADA spaces. Residential access into the building will be off of Mulberry Street through a main lobby. There are 2 other entrances into the site via East Kenny Street near the driveway, and a third stairway entrance off of MacArthur Parkway.
Before you begin, I just want to clarify, I think there was a misspoken. So with number of bedrooms, I know our architect will be discussing that. So we have 22 bedrooms, correct? Not 22, because we have 225 units.
Oh,
Just
I said 22 bedrooms.
Okay, all right, okay. So I said 22. Okay, thank you.
So we're also proposing along the site a bike storage area in the southeast corner of the parking area. There is no loading zone within the parking area, but based on the comments from the T&M engineer's letter, the applicant will apply to the city to put a 10 by 30 loading zone in front of the lobby along Mulberry Street to allow for deliveries, refuse pickup, and moving in and moving out of residents. The applicant is proposing new curbing sidewalk along East Kenny Street, Mulberry Street, and Oliver Street along the specific frontages for the site. The applicant is not proposing any work along MacArthur Highway. For grading and drainage, going to sheet 4 of our plan, the site is previously developed with the site being 100% impervious with existing buildings and parking areas. The applicant is proposing to develop the site with a building footprint that's encompassing almost the entirety of the site, but also removing vehicular impervious area, as all of this will now be enclosed by roof. The parking area will be graded to allow for any water that falls along cars that are being brought in to drain to the proposed drainage system. In terms of stormwater, the site, while previously developed, we are disturbing over 10,000 square feet of area, and it's considered a major development by the city of Newark. And we're preparing to construct 3 detention systems that discharge runoff to the combined sewer along East Kenny Street. The applicant will conduct all roof leaders to the detention systems to drain off site. The detention systems have been designed to lower the runoff for the site for the 210 and 100-year storm under the NJDEP regulation reduction factors. For utilities, the applicant will be connecting sewer, water, and gas along services along Mulberry Street. The applicant will coordinate construction with the city of Newark and water and sewer for that, as well as with the gas and electrical companies for the rest of the utilities. In terms of landscaping, going back to sheet 3, we're providing street trees along East Kenny Street, Mulberry Street, and Oliver Street. And I will defer to the architect about additional landscaping that will be placed along the rooftop.
Before you begin, Ms. Quinn, I just want to address that. I know we mentioned respect to not providing any landscaping on MacArthur Highway. There is a variance for insufficient shade trees. Well, we'll meet with the arborist. We are asking for relief on that, is correct? I know our
That's correct. And going a little bit further, there are, based on the Mr. Trafficante's report about the side triangle, there might be an additional tree that might have to be removed along East Kenny Street, and the applicant is fine with providing payment to a tree fund in lieu of putting in some of the street trees.
All right, so that payment entry might be 3 to 4. Originally it was 3, so it may be up to 4 payment in lieu. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Potentially, okay.
And that goes for the entire site. I'm kind of ready to go over the review letters from the professionals, unless there's any other questions. So going to T&M's letter dated December 31st, 2025, and then the updated one, January 9th. If I'm going to page 2 of the plan, of the report, under survey, item 1, there is an AC unit in Cage that belongs to the applicant, and we will revise the site plan to annotate that will be removed as part of a condition of approval. For the under number 2 demolition plan, we will comply with all 3 comments. Item 3, off-street parking, loading, access, and circulation. The first 3 items, the first 2 items are informational only. Number 3, Ms. Moore mentioned that for the memorandum of understanding to be provided after as a condition of approval prior to obtaining a building permit. Number 4, we are putting in a loading zone along Mulberry Street, as I previously stated. Number 5, the micromobility parking, we are providing a bike storage in the southeast corner of the site. Number 7, the architect will confirm this, but we will have enough vertical clearance for the ADA spaces adjacent to for all 4 of them. Actually, I'm sorry, for the van accessible space.
So Christian, if you can, I know it's a lengthy report. There's certain items that are pertaining to the architect and then to the civil. If we
Yes.
can, I just highlight the items specifically to your testimony. I know there are some other comments, but I just wanted to make sure that we understand that the architect will be addressing that.
Okay, that's fine. The number 8. The way that residents will handle entering the site with the there was a question about the entrance in there with the rolled aluminum gate. Is each resident will have a key fob located in their car, and as they enter the property, the gate will open, come up based on the key fobs located in their car. Item 9 about the reduced drive aisle. Based on the TRC meeting, we previously had wider driveway aisles, but based on their recommendations, we reduced some of the aisles down to 20 feet to accommodate the full length of the parking spaces. Number 10, about the parking. The parking will be handled on a first come, first served basis with residents being assigned these spaces. When somebody decides to move in, it's based on who's going to be there first.
And just to add, just to clarify that, Mr. Cueto, in discussing with Mr. Gomes on operations of the buildings, that's typically how we operate to the extent that a tenant needs a parking space and it will be provided to him. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, and available. Okay.
And
I don't need you to number 11. That would be you've addressed the load-in area, but the Amazon space will be discussed in the architectural testimony.
That's correct. Moving on to number 4, site plan. The first number 1 is informational only. Number 2, we don't need a variance. The minimum height, we meet the minimum height and minimum stories for this project, so no variance is required. Item number 3, there is a electrical pole that's located near the proposed driveway. The applicant agrees to work with the electrical company to relocate the pole along with the light as necessary. The difference between, I guess, the previous T&M report and the new report are the next 2 items, item 4 and 5. Item 4 has to do with the street trees and the site triangle. And as we mentioned, that at least one of the trees might have to be removed due to the site triangle. But we can comply with putting a site triangle on these plans. Item 5 has to do with the turning restrictions along East Kenny Street, and the applicant agrees to comply with that. Item 6, along with not one of the reasons why we're not proposing anything along McCarter Highway is we're applying to the DOT for a letter of no interest. And in lieu of installing landscaping, we'll again donate to the city's tree fund. Item 7, we will comply. Item 6 and 7 has to do with the no windows along the adjacent lots within 3 feet. There are no windows or access doors within 3 feet of the property line within the proposed building.
I also just wanted to highlight that during our architect will be providing additional testimony with respect to that. That was one of the comments Ms. Grill asked us to discuss. There is no encroachment that will require a variance, but the architect will be providing specific testimony.
Yeah. Item 13 about the mail rooms. As Ms. Moore stated, Mr. Gomes has several properties around Newark, and the mail rooms is usually separated between regular mail and packages, and he has no issues with that setup, and that's what he's going to do with this property as well. In terms of moving in and moving out, again, there's going to be a loading zone along Mulberry Street. The resident moving in will contact the building supervisor, and they will have a 2-hour window to move in or move out as required. Number 12, the applicants will agree to anything that the fire department says, but usually they don't provide a letter. But if they have any comments in the future, the applicant will work with them. Item 14, we will comply. And item 15, regards to the TRC memo, we will comply with that.
I just want to acknowledge that we have received a TRC memo as well as some comments from T&M pertaining to that TRC, but the plans were revised prior to this meeting to address those TRC comments prior to. So if I can, I know there's the next section is respect to the landscape and the lighting plan.
I was just saying that I was going to defer to the applicant's architect.
Okay.
And then going to number 6, grading, drainage, and utility. Number 1, this parking area is not exposed to the elements. This is all covered. T&M had wanted some clarification on that. The stormwater system has been designed to allow for any rain that falls on top of cars to drain towards the proposed inlets that are located along the detention system. Number 2, the cross-sectional plan that was added to the plan, that was part of the site plan checklist, and that is why it was added. Items 3 and 4, we will comply. Item 5, the applicant will put a ADA ramp along Mulberry and Oliver Street, again with MacArthur Highway and Oliver Street. We're going to be applying for a letter of no interest, and if DOT requests to do additional improvements, then the applicant will work with the DOT in doing that.
I just wanted to clarify, our traffic engineer will be discussing that. It's really determined because of the jurisdictional issue. It is within the jurisdiction of DOT, so we will rely on any comments that DOT will provide, correct?
Yes. Items 5, 6, and 7, we will comply. And the rest of the T&M letter to reduce the time of me talking, we will comply with items 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's for the T&M report.
Before we move to the planner's report, I do want to acknowledge receipt of the water and sewer report, Mr. Cueto. That
Yes.
report was dated, there was an updated report that was received today.
January 9th was the first one, and January 12th was the revised one.
And it's my understanding, based on the review of that memorandum, that we would agree to comply with those conditions of approval. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, all right. I also want to then move, just clarify that Mr. Trafficante has issued 2 reports, a technical review report as well as a traffic report. Our traffic consultant will address those conditions, but the technical review report did incorporate comments from T&M that we've addressed. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I just want to draw your attention. Did you have an opportunity to review the planner's memorandum dated December 29th, 2025?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to just specifically highlight, I mentioned that one of the variances that Ms. Gruhl identified with respect to the unpermitted sidewall tree rail dimension.
Yes.
Are we complying with that and eliminating?
Yeah, we can comply with that, and there'll be sufficient space in between the tree well and the building for pedestrian access.
Okay. And we've already mentioned paying into the tree fund in order for those additional trees that we're unable to plant. That's correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And I think everything else is more pertaining to the architectural plans. One thing I wanted to discuss, one of the comments in reviewing with the developers team, is there were certain improvements on East Kenny within the right of way. Based on the review of those documents, we can confirm that it's been more than 5 years since those improvements to East Kenny. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And item number 9, as a condition of approval, Ms. Gruhl has asked us to revise the bulk standard, which you've testified we do comply. There is no height variance and some other modifications, which refuse and collection of refuse. I'm referring to number 9 in the planner's report.
We can comply with item 9.
Okay, and last but not least, there was a comment, number 12, pertaining to the lighting plan, provide light fixture F when we'll agree to comply. Is that correct?
That is on the architectural side.
Architectural, okay.
Yes.
All right, but other than that, we can agree to comply with condition of approval respect to your civil items. Is that fair?
That's correct.
Is there anything else that you want to add? I have no.
No, that's all the reports.
Mr. Traficante's reviews.
Can we reclaim the screen, please?
Oh, so I'm sorry.
Mr. Traficante.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Traficante. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
I do.
Please briefly state your name and affiliation to this.
My name is Charles Traficante. I am a principal engineer and a professional engineer. I'm the employment of the City of Newark Department of Engineering. My license is active and in good standing.
You're accepted by the board, Mr. Traficante.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Mr. Cueto,
Good evening.
in P&M's memo, the latest one, I guess, the one dated January 9th, 2026, where they
Yes.
made reference to the need for a handicap ramp on the corner of McCarter and I believe Oliver Street. Now,
Yes.
all right. Now I understand that's in the right of way of the DOT, but correct me if I'm wrong. When it comes to handicap ramps, those are federal requirements, especially when it comes to cross slopes, the sidewalks, and the ramps and whatnot. Fair to say?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So should by some miracle you get a letter of no interest from the DOT, would it be unreasonable to ask your client to make improvements to the handicap ramp, comply with ADA and PROAC? And any sidewalks that lead up to them that exceed the 2% cross slope?
As long as the state is okay with, it just being the ADA ramp and not that triggering additional improvements have to be made along the right of way and maybe adjacent to the site. I think the applicant can agree to that.
All right, well, we're not gonna split hairs, Mr. Cueto. Again, it's not just the ramp itself, but sidewalks that lead up to it cannot exceed the 2% cross slope.
Yeah.
That being the case, should there be any sidewalks in that right of way in McCarter that exceed a 2% cross slope, I don't think it would be unreasonable to ask your client to replace them to not exceed the maximum allowable of 2%.
Any
Since
improvements?
they lead to a handicap ramp.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, all right. All right, I just wanted for the record clarify. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, is that the end of your testimony, Mr. Cueto?
Yes, that is. Thank you, Chairman.
Commissioners, do any of you have any questions for Mr. Cueto?
Chair,
Yes, Commissioner James.
is there going to be a traffic study conducted or?
Yes.
is that okay,
Commissioner, we do have a traffic engineer, traffic study.
got it. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Moore, who's your next
So
profession?
this time I'd like to call our architect, Russell DeRosa. So,
Good evening, Mr. DeRosa. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and affiliation to this application.
Yes, my name is Russell DeRosa. I'm Principal DeRosa Group Architects. We're located at 45 Academy Street, Newark, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Okay.
Chair, I qualified Mr. DeRosa. Mr. DeRosa has been appearing before the board. If I can ask the questions or qualify.
Mr. DeRosa, is your license current and in good standing?
Yes, it is.
All right, you're accepted by the board.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. I'll start sharing my screen.
So, Mr. DeRosa, I know we've made some modifications in the plan in connection with addressing the reports that we received. So I would ask that you identify the date of the plans and if we can mark it as A1. Again, it's just to address some of the comments that we received.
Sure. The date that appears on the drawings now is today's date, January 12th, 2026. And again, the revisions were in response to some of the earlier letters. All right. So I'll just start right here on our cover sheet. I know it was mentioned in the previous testimony, but here we have all the exact numbers. As we mentioned before, it is a 6-story building, a little over 204,000 square feet, and there are 225 units, 106 studios, 99 one-bedrooms, and 20 two-bedrooms. Okay. Just a few things about the site. This is sheet T4, which we just add a little bit of color for the presentation tonight. One of the design goals that we had for this project was to really engage and really lighten up Mulberry Street. It's actually written in the Living Downtown plan that there should really be no parking or anything that really doesn't have any active use on Mulberry Street. So once we get into the floor plans and the renderings, you can see how we kind of lit up and engaged that particular street. As mentioned before, there is parking in and out on East Kenny, and the site encompasses Oliver McCarter Highway. I'm going to go to the floor plans now and walk you through the plans. Okay. As I mentioned before, the main entrance is off of Mulberry Street, where we have a lobby. Adjacent to that lobby is the mail and package room. We have 2 commercial spaces highlighted in purple. The first one is up here to the north, and the second one is down here to the southwest corner. Again, 2 retail spaces along Mulberry Street and also on the corner of Mulberry and Oliver. Okay.
And Mr. DeRosa, but can you just identify, for some reason I can't see, can you just identify the square footage of each retail space for the record?
Sure. The one at the lower corner here is 1,664 square feet, and the one on the north end is 1,594 square feet. Okay. We do have some amenities as well on the ground floor. One being the residential Zen garden. It is something that a few of the Gomes projects have. It's a very cool amenity, and we're going to incorporate that Zen garden as well here on the ground floor adjacent to the lobby. Okay. As you can see, the balance of the ground floor is mostly parking, which we had talked about before. Here in the corners, we have our bike racks. We also have some here, which may turn into a water room later on. And in the deep purple, we have our mechanical spaces. Okay. So that's a nice snapshot of the ground floor. Going upstairs to the second floor. All right. Right off the elevator lobby, we have some building amenities. We have our gym, which is a little over 1,200 square feet. We have our residential lounge, which is a little over 1,100 square feet. And both spaces are connected to our first outdoor amenity space on the second floor, which is a green area. Okay. So here you can see a highlight here. This is accessed obviously and used by all tenants in the building. Okay. We also have a couple other amenities on this floor. We have a residential conference room right here with a long bar, pantry, and other amenities. And we also have a couple of small building offices as well. As I zoom out, you can begin to see the design of the floor plate. At each corner, we have, in the mid blue, we have the 2 bedrooms. The lighter blue are 1-bedroom units, and the darker blue are the studios. Okay. I like to zoom in on one of the typical 1-bedrooms so you can get a feel for the size. Obviously, the dimensions are very important. We wanted a very comfortable, livable bedroom unit, and you can see here our 1-bedrooms range from 138 to 638 to 640 square feet, plus or minus a foot or two. Each of the units has an open kitchen here with an island, and very sizable dimensions for the living room, just under 13 feet in width and just under 11 feet in width for the bedrooms. Okay. If I just take a look at the corners here, The 2 bedrooms, again, pretty spacious this one measures over 900 square feet for a 2 bedroom. And this one here, 957 square feet for a 2 bedroom. So the 2 bedrooms, each of them have 2 baths. I also like to point out that each unit has a washer and dryer, every single one, as well as a utility closet. So we made sure that amenity, a washer and dryer, in each room was given. Okay.
I do have one question before you move on, because you were talking about the amenity spaces. So these amenity spaces, and that was one of the clarification Ms. Crowell wanted. This is for the pleasure and use for the residents, correct? These are tenant amenity spaces when we talk about this Zen garden, which I know that it's integral with Mr. Gomes' design. It's a unique feature and it's something that no one else is doing, but I just wanted to share that this is a tenant amenity used for the residents and not correct?
That is correct, yes.
Good.
Okay. So roughly 20% of the units have balconies. All right. And these are best depicted on the rendering. So we'll get to that, and you can see how we incorporated the balconies to some of the units and the overall design of the balconies as well. Okay. So this is the second floor, and then floors 3 through 6 it is somewhat typical. And again, you can see how all the rooms lay out. Obviously, there's the amenities go away, and you have more studio units at this particular corner. Okay. All right. I will take us up to the roof, on the 6th floor roof, where we have more outdoor amenities. We carefully analyzed the site, and we wanted to make sure our active rooftop had the best views. All right, so that's why everything is kind of designed and programmed to the northeast corner. So here we have our outdoor spaces where there's different activities. We'll have outdoor barbecues. Here you can see a trellis, seating, more outdoor kitchen areas here. So this particular corner of the building is designated for more of a community type of use, more of a gathering type of use here on the roof, which really gives wonderful views downtown. Okay. The second amenity on the main roof is a dog walk. Okay, right in this corner here. So a little more of a private area, but this is a pet-friendly building, and we felt very strongly to have a dog walk incorporated in the design. Okay. Before I get to the renderings and the look and exterior of the building, are there any questions you have on the plans or the units, the sizes?
I do have just some follow-up with the planner's report before you show the rendering. One of the comments was just number 9 and 10 in Ms. Grove's report regarding the lighting fixture as well as the signage.
Okay. Let me get back to
Lighting fixture F.
Okay, I believe we did we did update that. All right, and the current plan is has the correct number, which I'll get to. Okay. Yeah, we did update and address that that item, and I do want to point out that there is exterior lighting as well. When we get to the exterior renderings, there's piers all along the ground floor, which we have an exterior light fixture on those piers. Okay.
Ross, one of the variances also with respect to that setback for the rooftop penthouse. Can you just discuss that? I know we have our planner will be addressing that, but we are seeking for relief, so I would like to lay that foundation for that variance.
Sure. I'll get to the roof, and this is the roof plan. I'm sorry. I'll get to the color one. Here we go. Okay. So this is the variance in question here. It is up against a lot line, but I would like to point out that this bulkhead is about 19 and a half feet away from the street line off of Mulberry. So there is no visual there. Okay. We tried to design the building as efficient as possible with the egress routes and the number of exits. And the same thing here on McCarter Highway. While this bulkhead is on the property line up against this story and a half industrial building, it is about 16 and a half feet away from the building wall. So again, it's not really visible from the street, especially walking. Okay. Right. I will address another question that came up in the planner's report, and that is the lot line windows. Here is the corner of East Kenny and Mulberry where that existing building is. All right. As you can see, there's no windows along the main facade, but there is a recess. There's a pocket here. Okay. And this pocket is over 3 feet deep. So our building wall is greater than 3 feet away from these windows. But one thing I would like to point out that these windows are not in any means used for egress. Here you can see the fire escape on this facade on Mulberry Street. And if I go to this photo, here's the other fire escape, all right, on East Kenny. So, you know, so our building wall is 3 feet away from any type of window. Okay. All right. If there's any other questions, I'll go to the renderings.
I don't, Madam Chair?
Yes, Ms. Gruhl.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't know whether this is the time or when you finish, but can you testify as to the inclusionary zoning ordinance and compliance? How many affordable units will you be providing? And some of those affordable must be 3 bedrooms.
And Madam Chair, before we do that,
Yes,
Ms. Gruhl,
I understand.
swearing in. Sorry. Do you
Nope.
solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
I do.
Thank you. Just please briefly state your name and affiliation for the record.
Susan Gruhl, Principal, Hire Gruhl and Associates, Planning Consultant to the Planning Board.
Thank you. Excuse the interruption, Madam Chair.
That's fine. You're accepted, Mr. Gruhl. What was it? Did you
Thank you.
present all of the question that you just wanted to know the mix?
Yes, I would like some testimony on the affordable units. How many, the breakdown, and whether you will comply with the requirements in the city's inclusionary ordinance, including the number of 3-bedroom units that are required. Thank you.
So Russ, do you want me to?
Yeah,
Thank
I
you.
think
Okay.
maybe
So-
you should handle that one.
Yeah,
More.
so I just wanted to address that respect to the inclusionary zoning, there will be 20% affordable equivalent to 45 units that will be on site. This project does not contemplate any 3 bedrooms. So to the extent that the applicant will be applying for a long-term tax exemption, to the extent that any requirement from the cities modify the financial agreement, we would ask that to be a condition of approval. But it will be 20% affordable that will be on site. We could stipulate to that.
Ms. Moore, can you clarify that? What are you, with regards to the 3 bedrooms, you would want the
So
agreement to stipulate what?
Typically, if there is a long-term tax exemption that's being modified, the applicant will prepare and submit a request to the economic development to discuss the terms of a long-term exemption for the financial agreement. And so that financial agreement dictates the terms and conditions of the pilot. of the inclusionary, but the number of units would be 20% that would meet the inclusionary zoning requirement.
So there's a possibility that you would be asked to add a
Uh,
three-bedroom?
In my experience, where they have not, the city's primary concern, and I also do a long-term exemption, is that they're concerned about providing the units on site. As this board may have been aware years ago, a lot of people did not want to put the units on site. So this developer will be having all the affordable, the 20%, and it does meet the 20% affordable on site.
Okay, Commissioner James.
Council, so I know you are proposing 22 bedrooms?
We have 22 bedrooms, yes.
Okay, so what percentage of the IZO would be in the 20 bedrooms? Like, could you give me the breakdown? So you have 106 studios, 99 one bedrooms, and the 22 bedrooms and no 3 bedrooms, correct?
Yes, so usually it's 50, I don't have the IZO requirement off the top of my head, but let me just find out from the client. I don't have his pro forma off the top of my head. So usually I modify it. Can I defer and get back to you on that? I don't have the IZO.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, no problem.
The split. I usually base it on the financial consultant pro forma.
Okay. Mr. DeRosa, were you finished with your testimony or no?
No, I was not. I wanted to share with you the exterior renderings now and the look of the building. So, here is the design of the building and the materials that we're using. This is the corner of Oliver and Mulberry. And on this corner, you can see that retail space here that we spoke about earlier, the Zen Garden, the secondary retail space. So again, one of our main goals was to engage and lighten up Mulberry Street. It's a very important street in the city, and I've been an architect in the city for over 20 years, and I know how important development of Mulberry Street is, and we really focused on that. Here you can see the balconies and how it's incorporated in our design. We have a glass railing, which is consistent throughout the facade. The main material is a concrete fiberboard. All right. As you can see, the main color is an ebony type of color, a darker color, along with some lighter accents. Okay. Here's the view along Oliver Street. On this view, I like to point out some of the green elements here, some of the branding here on the corners, also on the lower level. And also, I'd like to point out the design of the garage. We took it as a design challenge to design something that's creative and beautiful. And here you have these metal baffles in different colors. And instead of making it a bland or a boring type of louver, we created something that we think works well with the building. Okay. Here again, you can see the corner balconies as well on Oliver and McCarter Highway. Here's the entrance to the building. Again, this is retail space number 2. The entrance, the Zen Garden, and the other retail at the corner. And here you get a real appreciation of the detail, the depth, and the shadow lines that we're creating in this facade. It's not a flat facade. It's a facade that's rich and has a lot of shadow lines and a lot of detail to it. And here in this zoomed up, you can really begin to see that and appreciate the level of design depth that we went to. The base material is a charcoal color type brick. Here you can see the front awnings. There is lighting underneath those awnings and the branding of the building. here at McCarter Highway view. Okay. And then finally, our overall city view as well. And we think this building would fit in very nicely in the urban fabric of this area.
So if we can have that marked as A2 consistent of 5 images, it's the architectural rendering. Mr. DeRosa, I just want to highlight, there is a variance that requests in respect to the height, the ground floor height, the requirement is 16 feet. And we're asking for relief to reduce that to about approximately 13 and a half feet. Can you speak on that? That is a variance
Yes,
that we are asking for.
I will. As we mentioned before, it's a 6-story building, and it's a podium style building where there is 2 stories of a concrete structure and 4 stories of wood frame above. There's a severe drop from Mulberry Street down to McCarter Highway. This is almost a 5-story drop. And in order to reach 70 feet at its midpoint, all right, and have comfortable ceiling heights on floors 2 through 6, I need to sacrifice some space on the ground floor. So right now we're listing 13 feet floor to floor, and that would be our worst case scenario. All right. Right now we are working with our structural engineers to refine the structural design. Obviously the goal is to get as high as we can, but in order to maintain that building code of max height of 70 feet, I don't believe 16 feet at the ground floor is not going to be achievable at this end. It'll be achievable on this end, but not at the Mulberry Street end.
So just to clarify, we're asking for a release for the worst case scenario. That would be, you said roughly about 13 and a half feet.
Yes.
The relief, okay. And to the extent that we can increase it, then we'll work with our construction official, but we would ask to have that relief on the record.
Right. Again, we're being very conservative in that right now. We know we can do a little better, but I'd rather under promise and over deliver than over promise and not deliver. So. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. If there's any questions.
I have a question. So I'm very familiar with this block. The spa or salon and the gym that are on the Oliver Street side, those are part of the buildings that are going to be raised.
Correct.
Now, are those businesses projected to be the retail in the building or no?
I don't believe so. This building will have its own separate gym for residential use. But I don't believe the other business would be.
Okay.
And so just, Chair, just want to address that respect to the commercial space. We have not identified the commercial tenants yet, respect to those 2 spaces that Mr. DeRosa has indicated.
Okay. And with regards to the name of the building, L11, is that intentional, the 2 L's?
Yes.
Okay.
I asked the same question.
Very intentional. I'm not gonna, I think Mr. Gomes knows his marketing and he's done it very well. So
yes, he does his thing. All right.
Yes, he does, and I think it's a beautiful touch.
All right, commissioners, any other questions for the architect?
Commissioner James, I do have that split. Obviously, it's subject to an agreement, financial agreement by the council, but it will be 8 2-bedrooms as far as any proposed pilot terms. Obviously, that has to be approved by any city council, but it would be 8 2-bedrooms.
Got it. Okay, thank you. And Mr. DeRosa, are you the same architect for the Envy on?
No, no, I'm not.
Because it looks like a very similar, rendering exterior. That's why I was wondering. So
I guess there's some similarities, but I like to think this building has its own character. its own architecture and, you know,
It's
so
the
I
garden
think it's different.
component, I believe, Mr. James, that you're probably referring to. That is probably something
Yeah,
that's
yeah, definitely the
identifiable.
letter. Yeah, definitely the lettering. You know,
Yes.
the
Yeah.
exterior. You know, for the naming and so forth. So that's unique. Yeah. So okay.
All right. Any other commissioners, if you could, Mr. DeRosa, give us back the screen. Any other questions? Commissioners have questions for the architect? I can't see.
Thank you very much for your time.
You're very welcome. Your next professional?
Madam Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I just want to
Oh, go
clarify
ahead.
one thing with the architect before he signs off as such. I assume that all of our requests for revised plans, which I haven't been able to review your revised plans from today, that you'll address those comments.
Yes, I will.
Thank you. That's all. Thank you, Madam Chair.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So this time I'd like to call our next witness will be our traffic engineer, Craig Pergoy.
Hello.
Good evening, Mr. Pergoy. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and affiliation to this application.
Sure. My name's Craig Perigoy, Peregoy, with Dynamic Traffic, 50 Park Place in Newark. I'm traffic engineer.
So Chair, Mr. Pergoy has appeared before this board on a number of occasions. Mr. Pergoy, is your license still current?
It is, yes.
All right, you accepted by the board. You can continue with your testimony.
Thank you.
So your firm was retained to prepare a traffic impact statement respect to this project. Your report has been provided to the board. You can just provide the date of your report and then discuss your method. And then I just have some additional questions.
Sure. Date of the report is, hang on, October 13th, 2025. So essentially what we did was take a look at what is on site now, how much traffic that generates versus how much what we're proposing generates. And we're specifically focused on the weekday morning and evening peak hours or the rush hour time periods. That's when you're going to see the busiest traffic volumes on the street. And if I take a look at what's on the site now, that Metro Fitness, the hair salon, there's an office space in there. The projections for traffic for that versus this, in the morning peak hour, this would generate an additional 10 trips beyond what's there today. And in the evening peak hour, it actually is one less trip than what's there today. So essentially a wash from a traffic impact perspective. Typically, you're looking at 100 or more trips as what's considered a significant increase in traffic, where you'd want to do a full traffic study and level of service analysis. So for that reason, we didn't do one initially, because we wouldn't expect this to have any change in the level of service. In fact, the traffic memo that the city provided even says this development is not expected to change the level of service within the immediate area. But in discussing with Mr. Trafficante, he mentioned that that Mulberry Point project, a pretty large development, is a block away, and we should just confirm and take a look. I was able to get my hands on the traffic study that they did for that project. I took their future volumes and added our additional traffic on top of it, assuming that this was a vacant site. So looking at a worst case scenario, I didn't take out the gym and what was there, and prepared that analysis, and it verified that the levels of service do not change with the traffic generated by this development at Kinney and McCarter, at Kinney and Mulberry. Now, Oliver Street, since as you saw in one of in I believe the engineering review memo, we've been requested to restrict left turns out onto Kinney Street. So it's only right turns out of the driveway. So no traffic's going to go on Oliver Street. Oliver Street's one way from Mulberry to Kinney. You couldn't get to the site or from the site. There's no reason that anybody would be on Oliver Street. So those two intersections that are the closest, we did verify that the minimal traffic this is going to generate isn't going to have a negative impact on those intersections. In terms of the parking, the Living Downtown redevelopment plan, it's got two requirements in there. It's a half a space per bedroom, but then it goes on to say a minimum of a half a space per unit, which if they were all one bedrooms, that would be a half a space per unit. So it seems a little strange to have the two. But if you look at the half a space per bedroom, we'd require 123 spaces. At half a space per unit, it would be 113 spaces. When you take the EV credit, the state law for providing EV, that number goes down to 111 based on the bedrooms. and goes down to 102 based on the units. We're providing 85 spaces on site, 83 technically because there two of them are tandem spaces, and those are we don't take credit for those, but those are two spaces that are physically on the site. So there's 85 physical parking spaces on the site. Then you have the ride share spaces that you heard from the prior testimony, and based on the ordinance, they count as two additional spaces for each one of them, up to 10% of the requirement. So that gets you to 16 additional spaces. So you're at 101 technically provided spaces. And we're also adding 2 spaces back to Oliver Street by taking away the driveways that are there today. So you have a net of 103 parking spaces, which meets the requirement if you go by the number of units. We're only 8 spaces short if you go by the number of bedrooms. But I think as far as compatibility, this area, it's got its peak parking demand during daytime hours where you have a lot of the you have the federal building nearby, city halls nearby. You have a lot of office space in this area. Residential is going to have its peak overnight, so I think you're going to actually see an improvement in the parking condition on the street because we're taking away some uses that compete with what else is out there and generating the parking today. So I think we have an adequate parking supply.
And I just want to address respect also. This is the Live in Downtown plan. And one of the core features of the Live in Downtown is that we don't have to provide parking for the retail, trying to alleviate reliance on cars and everything. That's one of the comments or goals of the redevelopment plan, correct?
Correct. That's correct. Yes. The traffic numbers do include the traffic volumes do include the retail space. Yes, the parking isn't required. That was one of the comments in the traffic review letter. And on top of that, there were a few revisions to the text of the report, which are no problem. We'll make those revisions and add that level of service analysis that I mentioned to our report, which would address the comments from the traffic review letter.
And then just want to highlight, there is a slight increase in that retail space that Mr. DeRosa mentioned from 1233. Does that change your report or your conclusions?
It doesn't. The traffic projections are based on residential units above commercial space. And as long as that commercial space is less than, I think it's 25,000 square feet, it's inclusive of it. So those numbers wouldn't change and that analysis wouldn't change. And the parking doesn't change because parking's not required for the retail.
So I just wanted to, you've roughly identified or had an opportunity to review Mr. Trafficante's report, his engineering report. And you've mentioned that to the extent we will comply, you're providing testimony today. Is there anything that we cannot comply? Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Since I was able to get that analysis done prior to the night's meeting, I figured I'd put the testimony on the record, but we will certainly include that in our revised report.
So from a traffic standpoint, do you believe the variances that we're requesting would have any substantial detriment to the surrounding neighborhood?
No,
From a
absolutely.
traffic standpoint.
Absolutely.
And also, based on your report, do you believe that the parking demand is sufficient for this project?
I do. And as I mentioned, it's more compatible with this area than what's there today.
And last but not least, our civil engineer mentioned was on the comments regarding the driveway aisle. You believe from a traffic standpoint that reduction, I believe to 20 feet, is that sufficient or adequate space for that parking area? Mr. Cueto mentioned that driveway access side.
20 feet's absolutely fine for particularly for a garage residential assigned space development. That's more than adequate for to serve parking of people who know where they're going, who live here. It's low turnover. They know their parking space. It's certainly not a problem.
I have nothing further at this time.
Okay. Commissioners, do any of you have questions with regards to this traffic study? No questions. I just want to put out here, and I don't know how relevant it is to the traffic study or not, but I think that as you guys go forward, you should consider that there's a school across McCarter Highway, and a lot of those children from the school travel across McCarter Highway to hang out at the McDonald's after school. So during construction and going forward, that may be something to have on your radar.
Thank you.
Yeah, good point.
All right, you're welcome. All right, your next professional.
So last but not least, we'd like to have our planner, Marcella Trainer.
Good evening, Mr. Trainer. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
I'm moving them over to a panelist.
Oh, she's on it? Okay.
No, she's coming on now.
I can't see my screen.
Okay, sorry. Can you all see me now?
Yes.
Okay.
No problem. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Please state your name and affiliation to this application.
Certainly. My name is Marcella Traina, and I am the professional planner with this application.
Thank you, counsel.
Ms. Trainer, can you just briefly state your educational background and license, if any, you hold?
Yes, I'm a licensed professional planner in the state of New Jersey, and I'm also a member of the American Institute of Certified Planners. Both my license and certification are in good standing. I received my bachelor's degree from Rutgers University, and I've been accepted as an expert witness before dozens of other boards throughout the state of New Jersey, including this one.
All right, you're accepted by the board and you can proceed with your testimony.
Thank you.
So Marcella, before you begin, can you just give us an overview of what documents, if any, you've had an opportunity to review in anticipation of your testimony tonight?
Certainly. So I reviewed the site plans, the architectural plans, and the traffic study that was submitted to this board, as well as the application. And I reviewed all of the review letters that were prepared by the board's professionals. I also visited the subject site and reviewed aerial imagery, and I reviewed the master plan as well as the zoning ordinance and the redevelopment plan.
So can you walk us through you've heard testimony from a number of our experts, professionals, the C variances that we're seeking, eliminating one, adding additional. If you can just walk us through those variances and the justification for them.
Absolutely. So again, as you heard, the subject site is a corner property and the applicant is proposing a 6-story mixed-use building with 225 apartments, ground floor retail space, and 85 physical parking spaces. The site is located within the Living Downtown redevelopment area where mixed-use residential buildings are permitted. Now, overall, the building largely complies with the redevelopment plan, including regulations for lot size, building height, and setbacks. But to better align with the redevelopment plan and master plan, we designed this building with a few minor deviations and are therefore seeking some relief. So first, the relief that we're seeking relates to the rooftop mechanical equipment. The redevelopment plan requires this equipment to be set back at least 10 feet from the roof edge. In this case, 2 stairway bulkheads are located at the edge of the roof due to the internal layout of the building. And one of those bulkheads is adjacent to the dog walk area, while the other one is in an area that's not accessible to residents. You also heard from the architect that those bulkheads are not visible from the street line. So from a visual impact, I see no substantial detriment to placing the bulkheads there. Now, as far as the parking, 123 spaces are required, and we are providing 85 physical spaces plus several accredited parking spaces. This location is very well served by public transportation. It's a short walk to bus service on Broad Street and within walking distance to Newark Penn Station. And again, this redevelopment plan is intended to encourage walking, biking, and transit use rather than relying solely on cars. So consistent with that intent, the project also includes bicycle storage and bike racks. As far as loading and move-ins, all loading activities will be handled internally by building staff with adequate space within the garage and drive aisles. And these activities will be brief. And for resident move-ins and move-outs, a dedicated door will connect the elevator directly to the parking garage, and there's sufficient space for a box truck to access that garage. Additionally, as you heard, the applicant will apply to the city to put in a 10 by 30 foot loading zone along Mulberry Street for deliveries, refuse, and move-in. As far as shade trees, 1 shade tree is required for every 35 feet of frontage. We are providing shade trees on all frontages, but are seeking relief for the McCarter Highway frontage as it is under NJDOT jurisdiction. However, the applicant has agreed to make a payment in lieu of. For the ground floor height, 16 feet is required and approximately 13.5 feet is proposed. As you heard, this is an architectural constraint driven by the slope conditions. Maintaining that 13-foot on the ground floor allows for the upper residential floors to achieve a minimum 9-foot high ceilings. And those ceiling heights allow for larger windows, more natural light in the apartments, and overall will improve the quality of those living spaces, while that ground floor height is still appropriate for retail and residential amenity uses. So to sum up, the project is going to promote several goals of the Living Downtown redevelopment area, including goal number 5, to attract thousands of new residents and encourage the creation of a variety of new housing opportunities for people of all income levels. As well as goal number 6, to reduce the dependence on the car and increase usage of public, pedestrian, and bicycle transit. And goal number 8, to invest in the public realm. The project also promotes the master plan goal to add 3,000 new homes across all 5 wards by 2026 and 8,000 homes by 2032. That being said, the requested variances are limited in scope and do not undermine the overall intent of the zoning ordinance or master plan. The project includes retail space on the ground floor, outdoor rooftop amenities, a Zen garden, and balconies for several units, which are all positive features of the site and community. So the project promotes MLUL Purpose A to guide the appropriate use of land, which promotes public health, safety, and morals and general welfare, as well as MLUL Purpose C to provide adequate light, air, and open space given the multiple outdoor amenities proposed. And ultimately, it's my opinion that these variances can be granted under the C2 benefits versus detriments criteria of the statute, which means that the benefits of the overall project as a whole substantially outweigh any potential detriments.
Okay, thank you, Marcel. As always, thank you. I just want to add one more comment. We mentioned the waiver for the access aisle. We're verifying whether or not a waiver is requested. And just briefly, just for the record, to the extent that we need that waiver, I just want to put that on the record.
Or, I'm sorry.
The access aisle, the width was reduced from 22 to 20. So you just wanted to put some.
Yes, so the width of the access aisle will still be sufficient for two-way access. I see no substantial detriment to reducing that width.
All right, thank you.
All right, commissioners, do any of you have any questions for Ms. Trainer? All right, seeing none, does that complete your professional testimony?
It does, Chair. Thank you.
All right, so at this point in time, members of the public, if you have any questions, comments, concerns with regards to this application, please press *9 or raise your hand and we will bring you in. You will have 3 minutes to present questions, comments, and concerns. All right. Do we have any raised hands?
Seeing none.
All right. Seeing that there are no raised hands, we would like for someone to present a motion at this time to include any conditions of approval.
Motion to move it. Motion to move it.
Moved by Commissioner Purdy. We need a second.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Purdy, seconded by Commissioner Austin to approve the applications, including any conditions mentioned. All right, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Purdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Austin,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner James. Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Roundtree, Commissioner De Silva,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, your application has been approved.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for your time. Go forward. Thank you. Great project.
All right, best to you on the project.
Thanks,
Remember
everyone.
the McDonald's kids. All right.
Noted. We'll speak to Mr. Gomes. We'll speak to Mr. Gomes about that. Thank you.
Listen, my son every day, and
Over at Madonna's, okay.
that's what they did. That was their hangout. Okay, so the application is CPB 2574. The address is 339 Morris Avenue. The attorney is Mr. Wine.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, can everybody hear me all right?
Hear me.
We can hear you now, but we're on to the next application. Just send me a text and then we'll note it. All right. Thank you, Mr. Wine.
Can everybody hear me all right?
Yes, we can hear you.
Heard it's a night of technological muddles, so I appreciate it. So good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners Benjamin Wine of Prime Tuval and Maselli, on behalf of the applicant 353 Morris NJ LLC. So just to give you a brief background on the application that's before you, and I believe it was the chair that indicated right at the beginning that there are 4 applications this evening that are relatively similar. So if all goes well, you will probably hear basically a carbon copy presentation 4 times in a row. So I apologize in advance, but that is the menu for this evening. So the first application is for 339 Morris Avenue, and that's block 254, lot 10.07, and we are located in the C1 zone. For anybody familiar with this site, it is presently a vacant lot, and it's a subdivided portion of the former Clinton Milk Company's industrial facility that was along this this entire block, really, of Morris, just west of 15th. Now, what we're proposing this evening is to construct a new 4-story residential building that would consist of 4 residential dwelling units and 2 ground floor parking spaces, along with related site improvements, including stormwater management, landscaping, and lighting infrastructure. As you'll see from our presentation this evening, we do have a site that is, as I said, formerly industrial and surrounded by a number of properties that are all require environmental cleanup, monitoring, things like that. This is, again, for anybody familiar with the site, it was long served as that purpose. So the 4 applications that you're going to hear this evening are independent site plan applications per the municipal land use law. Though what my client is seeking to accomplish is to really kick off in a beautiful fashion redevelopment of 4 of the lots starting right at the corner of 15th Avenue that make up a percentage of that old industrial site that I just discussed. And what we're seeking to do is to develop it with low density development that will promote owner occupancy and pride of ownership. That really is our hope with these sites being 4-unit buildings that an owner will purchase a property in order to live there and rent out 3 of the other units, again, promoting that owner occupancy in a zip code, especially that is fairly void of available real estate for ownership. So while we did look at some different options, including a larger development that would cover all 4 properties, what that would look like in the C1 would be a 5-story, 31-unit residential building. What we're ultimately proposing is 4 4-unit buildings, so roughly half the density, a story lower, but they're buildings that, as I said before, will promote ownership, family-sized units, vehicular ownership for those people that do own vehicles and the ability to park them. And so what we've come up with are these 4 family buildings, the first of which is at 339 Morris Avenue, which we'll discuss first. I do also want to note that right across the street, in case I look familiar from about 6 months ago, is the site of the recently approved 8-story, 426-unit development at 345 Morris Avenue. And that will bring a kind of a different vibe to the neighborhood, more of that higher density development. So our feeling here is proposing something that will offer new or existing residents the ability to live in larger family style residences with the opportunity for some of those owners to be building owners as well, will really supplement the area with a nice variety of options and styles of living. We do have, along with our site plan request this evening, some variances, some bulk variances for the application. And really those are for the lot size. For 4 family living, 3,500 square feet and 35 feet wide are required. We are proposing, well, we have lots that are 2,500 square feet and 25 feet wide, which is not inconsistent with a number of other 4 families in the immediate area. We also have variances for building and lot coverage, which you'll hear about from our architect momentarily. And kind of uniquely, this is a little bit of a technical one, but since there's no development prevailing along the block front, as I mentioned before, there are 5 4-family developments that were approved by this board on the block, but they have yet to be constructed. So since there's no prevailing setback right now, it's all vacant. There is a 6-foot front yard setback requirement, and we're proposing to be at the property line, which again is in context with what ultimately will be developed along the rest of this block. Lastly, and this comes directly in response to, we're going to alleviate one of Mr. Trafficante's comments. There was a variance at this property being on a corner for having a driveway location too close to the intersection of Morris Avenue and 15th. And so we're able to actually eliminate that. We felt that that's enough of a safety concern that Mr. Trafficante brought up, and we appreciate him bringing it up. So we're able to eliminate that by actually moving the driveway for this particular location to the 15th Avenue side and actually all the way to the rear of the building. So as far away from that intersection, quite honestly, as humanly possible. Lastly, there were a couple of additional variances and waivers that Ms. Gruhl identified in her letter that we intend to eliminate. They were not intentional. They were oversights. They related to fence heights and features, as well as lighting. Again, we can comply with the requirements. So we thank Ms. Gruhl for pointing those out, but we don't intend to seek that relief. So lastly, just before I proceed to my first witness, as I indicated, we did receive letters from Mr. Trafficante and Ms. Gruhl, and what we will present this evening takes into account the safety requirements set forth and the ADA compliance requirements set forth in those letters, which again, we'll speak to in detail. And we'll just indicate for the record that everything else that's not explicitly mentioned by our professionals this evening that come up in any of the letters will simply be complied with. There's a lot of technical comments and we will be able to comply with most of those. So with that, unless the board has any questions of me, I have 2 witnesses for you this evening. My first is going to be George Fernandez, our project architect. Our second will be Marcella Trena, our professional planner. And again, I just asked the board for its time and consideration, and please bear with me as you're about to hear 4 very, very almost identical presentations this evening.
All right. Mr. Fernandez, Mr. Beck.
Good evening. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
I do.
Thank you. Once again, please state your name and affiliation to this application.
Jorge Fernandez, Fernandes, registered architect, business address 75 Parkhurst Street, Newark, New Jersey.
Thank you. Counsel?
Sure. And George, I know you've been before this board several times, but if you can please confirm for the record that your license is in good standing here this evening and in the calendar year 2026, that would be great.
Yes, my license is current and in effect.
All right, you're accepted by the board. Can you proceed with your testimony?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, George, if you can go ahead and bring up the plans on the screen that we're going to discuss here this evening, and I'll just ask that anything you present this evening that was not submitted to the board previously and might be in response to review letters received a few days ago, we could just mark them as exhibits.
Certainly. So these are the plans.
It requires work.
339 Morris Avenue that were submitted. This is the property on the corner of 339 Morris and 15th Avenue. So we'll start with that one. Again, here's the existing site. Is a 25 by 100 on the corner, fronting on Morris, and then having the side yard on 15th Avenue. And we were proposing to have our structure on the front property line and 75 feet depth and a 25-foot rear yard. The garage we were proposing to be on the front and have a curb cut there, but as we reviewed the engineering report from Mr. Trafficante, He asked us if we can move this driveway from this location to a location further away from the intersection. And we deemed it to be prudent to have it as close to the rear lot line as possible. Therefore, the only other driveway scenario I really see happening is taking this driveway and placing it on 15th Avenue and being able to then park 2 cars on these 25-foot width by 18-foot depth. And that would give us enough space to effectively park a regular parking space, 8.5 by 18, and of course the van accessible handicap parking space adjacent to that. In doing so, we'll be increasing our impervious coverage to 93%. However, we had originally proposed to have a grass area in the backyard and 2 on-site trees. I believe that the on-site trees can still be planted, as we'll have 18 feet for the parking. The trees will be able to be planted on the remainder planting area, but we'll obviously increase our impervious coverage of the site. We could use some pervious paving material, but I understand that doesn't reduce the variance, so we will be at 93%. The street trees, of course, we will be able to provide the shade trees on the sidewalks. We'll be able to move them here and still have the 18-foot curb cut that's required, or 20-foot curb cut rather, that's required per the engineer's report. So what that will do to my floor plans, I can go to the floor plan page. We have here the first floor plan, which we were proposing with the garage and a 3-bedroom apartment, living, kitchen and dining area, 2 bathrooms, and a mechanical area that has a laundry inside the mechanical area. What that will do by removing this garage is we'll have a much larger apartment on the first floor to match the existing apartments that are on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floor, which have 3 bedrooms and an office that's 96 square feet. Of course, together with the living space, kitchen, dining room, living room, mechanical closet with laundry, and the 2 bathrooms. This is a 4-story structure, so code requires 2 means of egress. So that is why we have 2 stairs on this building, one in the rear, one in the front. And of course, as is required, we'll have a handicap accessible entrance on the side for the ground floor apartment that has to be handicap accessible by us providing a handicap accessible bathroom as well as handicap accessible kitchens. The floor plates are effectively the same. The living spaces in the front, bedrooms in the rear and sides, and that's what this particular building would look like. In the elevations, we have here the front elevation. We have the garage, which will now become windows, and we have masonry on that lower first floor and masonry going up above the entry door, the front entry door, all the way to the 4th floor, and composite siding on the window living room portion of the elevation. We do have a balcony that is for the use of the 2nd floor apartment. That comes over what it used to be the garage, but it's now just going to be a balcony over the apartment on that ground floor. We have on the side elevation, again, in the front elevation, we're providing the 30% glazing requirement. Effectively, we'll increase that by having windows rather than garage door in the front to above 30%. The side elevation, we have where 10% is required. We have 11%. This is the elevation that doesn't face the street. Again, we have windows there, and the other side facing the street, we have 12% glazing. The rear, we have 14% glazing. So those are the glazing numbers. I also have a rendering that I would like to share, and I don't believe that was submitted.
Right, so this we should mark as A1.
Yes, we'll mark this as rendering A1. Oh, I don't understand why it's not loading up. Okay, hope everyone can see it. This is the, we'll call it Exhibit A1, which is the rendering of the 4 proposed structures. The one further closer to the right is the 339 Morris, which I've currently described. And again, we're showing the materials, masonry, the windows, and the composite siding facades. I believe there, again, the balconies also for that second apartment. I believe it's aesthetically pleasing design, and it'll fit right in with the fabric of this neighborhood. We do have multiple uses in this neighborhood. We have the apartment building that was approved across the street. We have similar 4-story 4 families that I was involved with down the street on Morris on 355, 365. They're Morris, they're coming down the pipeline. They were already approved by the board, and we're now in the construction drawing phase. So I believe that the aesthetic is for this street is well placed.
George, just to confirm while you're on this image, so the only difference here would be in response to Mr. Trafficante's comment for only the building at the far right, that garage door would be replaced with some type of windows, and
exactly.
The parking is going to be towards the rear behind the building.
Just
yes,
for this correct. And the windows are going to be for a living room. Therefore, it's more private that you're going to have those windows on the property line.
Sorry, you can continue. I just wanted to make sure we asked that.
Thank you. That pretty much concludes the testimony for this home. I don't know if you want me to go through the rest of the homes or just the humor questions from the professionals.
Yeah, I'll just ask a couple of follow-up questions. Just in terms of, and I know I indicated it at the outset, but from a fencing and lighting standard, you have no problem complying with the ordinance requirements. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so despite it coming up in Ms. Gruel's letter, we would no longer need that relief. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and then in terms of the ADA compliance as well for the parking, I know you touched on it. That was, I think, one of the biggest focuses of Mr. Trafficante's letter. Again, we would comply given the spaces in the rear. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, was there anything in Mr. Trafficante's letter with respect to technical comments or anything that we could not comply with?
There was not.
Okay, so we could comply with everything, even if you didn't cover it in your testimony this evening.
That is correct.
Okay, and then lastly, just regarding, I just want to confirm that there will be, in terms of rain collection and runoff, if you could just speak to what's being done here to ensure that we don't create a concern for the area.
Yes, the roof water is going to be collected, as well as the any other impervious surface into a dry well system that will overflow into the combined storm sewer storm sanitary sewer on either Morris or 15th Avenue. And that is how we'll mitigate all the runoff in the project, which is, I believe, 100% better than what was there before, because it was an old industrial site. I don't believe we had any water retention. I think this will be an improvement for the neighborhood.
Okay, and then I lied. I do have one more question. As an architect, if you could just confirm, I alluded to it in my opening about, if these lots, and this is a good picture, if these lots were.
You home?
I don't even play, so you gonna
Mute yourself, please. Okay, thank you.
That's okay. I just wanted to confirm if, as I alluded to in my opening, we were to simply combine these lots and at 10,000 square feet, what we could propose here would be a 5-story, 31-unit development. I just want to confirm, as an architect, from your perspective, that you actually feel half the density and the story lower is actually more contextual with the neighborhood, given some of the surrounding, other than the big mixed-use building that was recently approved, with some of the surrounding 4-story uses in the area.
Correct.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, I have nothing further for this witness at this time.
All right, hold the rendering up for 1 minute. And Mr. Trafficante has a question. Mr. Trafficante.
Yes, Madam Chairwoman. Do I need to be sworn in again?
Mr. Trafficante. No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thought I better ask.
All right, go ahead. What's your question?
Because Mr. Fernandez, you're
Yes.
proposing to move your parking in the rear yard, and you're proposing like a 25-foot wide by 18-foot deep. That pretty much takes up the entire backyard, does it not?
It does.
So where do you plan to put your dry well?
It would have to be underneath the parking.
Okay, you have any thoughts to maybe a detention basin and move a dry well? I mean, you're talking about infiltration. Who wants to put infiltration under a building where over time you could be looking at erosion and hey, all of a sudden your foundation settles? What do you know? Is there some way you could put some kind of detention basin for this corner lot?
Certainly. There, we have the space in the rear yard. We can install the system in there underneath the parking and overflow onto 15th Avenue.
Well, by pipe, right? Not overland.
Correct.
And your client's willing to replace the one ramp on the corner with two in accordance with ADA and ProAg?
Yes, of course.
All right. Otherwise, I stated you comply with all the other comments in our report to the board dated January 6th. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
All right. No further questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good
Any other
evening.
commissioners have questions for Mr.
Yes.
Fernandez? Huh?
I want to know where y'all plan to put the garbage at?
The garbage is going to be also in a corral in the rear,
Real good.
facing the next to the parking.
Okay. The other question is the windows on the right side of that block right there. How low they are? It says for people to knock on their windows as you walk by. They can put bars up or something.
Yes, we could put safety bars there.
You're gonna have to. Yep. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
I had a joke, but I kept it to myself, hence the silence. All right. Does that complete the test? Oh, no, Commissioner James, I see you.
Thank you. I had two questions. So, and maybe I missed this testimony. The front facade, the lower level,
Yes.
is that the entrance to the garage?
Yes, the building all the way on the right here is depicted with a garage in the front.
Okay.
But because we were asked by the engineering department if we could move the driveway towards the other street on the corner, further away from the intersection, this garage will no longer be a garage, and it'll be part of the living area of that lower apartment, and it will have windows instead of the garage door.
Okay, is that consistent with the other three, or just that one specific?
Just that one, because the other three need the garage for to provide parking.
Got it. So the egress is I guess on the facing me, I guess it would be on the right side. Is that doorway?
Certainly. I have another rendering. I think I could.
And we should mark this as A2 as a second.
Can you see this one?
Yes.
It's showing the buildings head on. Yeah, those are basically we have stairs going up. We have the door that gives access to the apartments on the second, third, and fourth floor. And the ground level apartment will have a side entrance past the stairs.
All right.
So what is that mirror like reflection? Is that a mirror or like is that just aesthetics?
On the door, you mean?
Yes.
The garage door. Yeah, those are meant to be glass.
Okay.
Glass panel. It's just the way the rendering was done. It reflects.
Okay, so it's not see-through. It's just a reflection.
Yeah, typically garage panels are opaque. Yeah, you can't you don't really see through them.
Correct. Right.
Just brings in light.
Yeah, that's why I'm just wondering. So the purpose of that is for aesthetic purposes, you're saying? Because
Yes.
I've never seen something like that. I have a garage, but I'm just wondering exactly what was the purpose of that. Is
we're
actual
trying
glass that you could break, or is it like?
Yes, it's glass. It's glass.
Okay, so it's glass. So it's each panel is a glass fixture.
It is usually safety glass in the sense that it just shatters. It doesn't create a hazard for anyone, but it is glass. Yeah, and we're trying to comply with the glazing requirements for the front elevation. So.
Okay. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna pick up where Commissioner James left off. How do we use, is there a material that we can use on those windows to sort of add a security feature, right? So this literally is my neighborhood, right? I live across Springfield Avenue. And when these, when the homes are first there, people are going to try it, right? It looks exciting. It's beautiful. You said safety glass. Is there something more firm or more secure, something more durable that could be used?
I mean, there is still wire glass, but the fact that the glass will always break. I mean, I don't.
And then also, you're saying to access the ground floor apartments, they're walking through these little breezeways to a door. Is that what you're saying?
On the right-hand side, yes.
On the right-hand side.
Or the left-hand side, rather, of the home.
Okay, so to the left of the stairs is a breezeway.
Yes.
They're going to walk back there to get to, right, if there was someone who's physically impaired, so there's a potential that someone's hobbling or on a walker or something, and they're going into that narrow space. Is there light on that side? What security features are there for them, especially given that there's no fence at that breezeway?
Well, there is. We are planning to install lighting on that whole walkway, cameras on that walkway, and a fence could be installed because that walkway really is only for the use of the tenants. So we could install a fence, especially at the end of the stairs, where nobody would be able to go back there unless they have the key code to the fence. And the fence could be made of a wrought iron material, so it's just aesthetically pleasing to the to the streetscape, and you'll keep the use of this side yard solely for the residents.
Right.
I think that's a great sentiment, Madam Chair. I think we can definitely do that.
Thank you. You would hate to get off the bus in the middle of the night and have someone walking from AutoZone following you into your breezeway.
And And as part of my testimony for the next buildings, we are going to implement a door from inside the garage
Okay.
into that lower apartment. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because there are buildings with similar designs to this down the neck, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're still at 339, aren't we?
Correct.
Okay. So is that complete the testimony for No, I see you, Miss Gruhl. I see your hand. Come on with your question.
Okay, very quick. Just, there is no retaining wall anymore?
Actually, there will be a retaining wall. I think we'll have to, because we're going to do the parking there, we'll have to increase the retaining wall on the property line opposite the street. But yeah, that will still be there.
So you'll still need a variance for that?
For
The height of what, so you need, okay, so you're gonna need a retaining wall. Okay.
Yeah.
The other is, there was a door on the side of the south side yard. It's next to the communal stairwell.
Yes.
Where does
Oh.
that go?
Yeah, that is just a closet that goes under the stairs for maybe to keep some shovels for the winter salt. It's really just a maintenance closet, if you will.
Oh, okay. Okay, very
Yeah.
good. Thank you very much. Thank you,
You're
Madam Chair.
You are very welcome. So
Some-
folks need to know not to put their garbage there, right? Don't put the garbage under the steps, but you're saying a dumpster or some kind of enclosure in the back.
There's a corral in the back for the trash and recycling. That closet is really just for the use of whoever's maintaining the building.
All right. Okay, does that complete the testimony on this address, Mr. Wine?
No, Madam Chair, I do have a professional planner, Ms. Trina, to present her testimony with respect to 339 as well.
All right, Ms. Trina.
Yes, and also counsel, all the witnesses that you have this evening on this particular application to be moving forward on the next three?
That is correct.
All right, so whatever you can do to consolidate would be helpful. So I'll leave it at that, and if we might swear the next one in.
Sure, counsel, I thought we had until 2 o'clock in the morning. Am I mistaken?
I think it's 3 o'clock. But that's up to the chairperson.
We have until 9 o'clock. That's it.
Good compromise. Cut the baby in half. Once again, counsel's, your expert has already been sworn in.
Okay. All right. And okay. So with that, Ms. Trina, we can jump straight into your testimony. So you've heard the variance relief that we need predominantly with related to the lot size, a couple of the setbacks and the coverage as well. If you could please walk the board through your professional planning testimony, why it's justified in this situation, and anything that you can shed light on from the master plan and the surrounding area.
Certainly. So again, the site is located at 339 Morris Avenue, which is a corner property in the C1 zone. The site is the former location of the Clinton Milk Company, which existed on this property as an industrial use for decades. But under existing conditions, the site is currently vacant. Within the immediate vicinity of the site is several lots that were recently approved for new development, including 5 other 4-story, 4-family dwellings on a major mixed-use development consisting of 8 stories and 426 residential units. And what we're proposing this evening is another 4-story, 4-family residential building with 2 parking spaces, which complies with the city's parking ordinance and will be visually consistent with several other developments recently approved by this board. For 4-family dwellings in the C1 zone, lot area is required to be a minimum of 3,500 square feet, and lot width is required to be a minimum of 35 feet, whereas the proposed lot has 100 feet of frontage along 15th Avenue and 25 feet of frontage along Morris Avenue, making this a 2,500 square foot lot. Now, while the site is deficient in lot area and width, the proposed development is still able to achieve a sufficient side yard per the ordinance, allowing a clear separation from any future development on the neighboring lot. We're also seeking relief for building and lot coverage. However, as you heard, providing that parking in the rear of the property, and as we're providing that as far as possible from the intersection, which is just overall a better planning alternative. Regarding the front yard setback, we're proposing the building right upon the property line, which is not uncommon for corner properties. And we will also have a retaining wall to buffer that parking in the rear of the building. That being said, it's my opinion that the granting of these variances will not pose a substantial detriment to the public good. The proposed building complies with building height and parking, and we located the garage as far as we could from the intersection in response to Mr. Traficante's comments. And while the C1 zone contemplates development that has the potential to be significantly more dense, we designed a building to align with the approved and proposed development in the immediate vicinity of the site, as I mentioned, including 5 other 4-family, 4-story buildings along Morris Avenue. In order to include bigger housing units in new developments to accommodate large families of different cultures to align with the master plan, and specifically owner-occupant opportunities, we are seeking relief for a few items. But that being said, it's my opinion that the variances being sought this evening satisfy the statutory criteria to be granted. The project promotes MLUL Purpose A as it is an appropriate use of the land, as well as MLUL Purpose G to promote sufficient space for residential uses, and Purpose I as we're proposing to clean up this vacant industrial site with street trees and landscaping. And ultimately, it's my professional opinion that the granting of these variances can be granted under the C2 benefits versus detriments criteria, which means that the benefits of the overall project as a whole substantially outweigh any potential detriments.
Thank you, Marcella. I just wanted to ask you one follow-up question, and it's the same question really that I asked to Mr. Fernandez. But again, given the surrounding context and especially some of the other approved 4-story, 4 families, actually about four properties away from us on Morris, I just want to confirm that developing at half the density and a story lower in a more family-oriented style development with larger units rather than a larger low rise. Higher density, double density 31 unit building is a better planning alternative for this particular property.
Yes, I believe that this project will harmonize very beautifully with the other approved developments on this lot. And given that these unit sizes are larger in nature, you'll probably see a lot more families in this area, which I think is overall just a really great planning benefit and something that aligns well with the master plan.
Thank you. So, Madam Chair, I have nothing further for Ms. Trina at this point.
All right, thank you. Commissioners, do any of you have questions for Ms. Trina? All right, so the thought that came to my mind is not even a question, but for this house, given that it's so close to the sidewalk on that one side, I know that I saw some flowers or something like that in the rendering. Perhaps, Mr. Fernandez, you might want to give a consideration to some kind of shrubbery or something to make a psychological boundary between the home and folks walking up and down the sidewalk. Mr.
Yes, if you're talking, George Fernandez here.
Yes.
If you're speaking about the side yard,
yes.
Unfortunately, we are on the property line, so we won't be able to provide any shrubbery on that along that property line.
Okay. Regards to those windows, then.
If I may interject, I'm sorry, Charles Traficante, Department of Engineering.
Mr. Traficante, you're interjecting. Go right ahead, sir.
I'm sorry, madam, but just so the board's aware, if you have any kind of a front yard, which means you set the building back in any way from the property line, there is a provision in the ordinance that driveways cannot be more than 10 feet wide for a 4-family, 1 through a 4-family. In order for him to fit the 2 cars in the rear yard, he's proposing like a 20-foot wide driveway, 20, maybe 24. So he puts himself in a bind by putting that house back and still leaving a 3-foot wide, I guess, walkway or pedestrian walkway along the, I guess, the opposite side, the one with the next lot, which I believe is.
May I interject?
41.
Daniel Beck, counsel. Mr. Trafficante, did you include this in your report?
No, because he owns the building. There is no front yard on 15th Avenue. The house is right on the corner.
Okay, so this is new information that you're interjecting, correct?
Yes, should the board insist him putting it in the front setback on 15th.
All right, I just wanted the record to be clear that council's now confronted with new information. Council, you willing to address it?
Sure. I think if I understand Mr. Trafficante clearly, he's responding to the chair to suggest basically why we wouldn't set back from 15th Avenue, which we're not proposing. So I think that's what I understood.
Correct.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you both. Thank you both for answering my question.
You're welcome.
All right. Get those folks some curtains or window blinds. You know, like install it for them. Some home, you know, some developers will do that. All right. At this point in time, if there any other commissioners have any questions with regards to this application? Okay, seeing none. Are there any members of the public? If there are any members of the public that have questions with regards to this application, please raise your hand or press *9. You see any, Ms. Hussein?
Seeing none.
All right. Madam, wait, Ms. Roundtree, you ready? Get yourself ready. All right. Commissioner James, you ready?
Here. Yeah. I'm having.
Okay. All right. I didn't do it yet. I just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to hear anything. I don't want you to get me. All right.
Hold on.
So at this time, we would need someone to present the motion.
The Lord, can you hear me?
Yes,
Lord,
ma'am.
oh my God, I can just barely hear you guys, and I'm sitting in the dark, as you can see. Let me turn this light on. Can you see me?
Yes. Hold still for about 1 second.
I say,
Okay.
so moved.
So moved by Commissioner Roundtree. We need a second. Seconded by Commissioner Purdy. All right, Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Purdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Austin,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
She's on a call.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Roundtree,
Absolutely, yes.
Commissioner De Silva,
She's stuck.
I am.
Oh, there you are.
You hear me? Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Yes. Did you get Commissioner Purdy? Okay, very good. All right, your application has been approved. What we're doing next? We are doing 343 next.
343. All right. So thank you, everybody. For the record, Benjamin Wine of Prime to Bella Misselli on behalf of the applicant 353 Morris NJ LLC. We're here seeking preliminary and final site plan approval along with bulk variance relief for the property located at 343 Morris Avenue, which is block 254, lot 10.09, and we are still in the C1 zone. Again, this is one of the 4 lots that you've seen on our rendering that is part of the former Clinton Milk Company's industrial facility. And what we're seeking here as well is a 4-story, 4-family residential building with similar variance relief as to the application that you just received. The only difference with this application, or the predominant difference, I should say, which will carry through for all of 341, 343, and 345, is that it's not on a corner lot. And so in order to comply with Mr. Trafficante's comment regarding ADA accessibility for vehicular parking. It's a little bit of an interior revision on the ground floor, but there is no parking in the rear yard. So difference with this application is that there will be a sizable rear yard that is planted as part of the application to keep our lot coverage down. So instead of 93%, we are at 78%, I believe. And what that'll do is on the interior of the building, there will be a slight modification to the plans that you've seen in order to park a van loading ADA accessible parking space, as well as another standard parking space. But beyond that, the application is very similar to what you saw. Again, 4 stories, 4 families with similar variance relief. So with that, unless you have any questions of me, I'll turn it right back over to Mr. Fernandez.
All right, Mr. Fernandez.
Yes, Jorge Fernandez here. I'm going to go share the plans now. So this is 343 Morris, the plans that were submitted. Again, it was an existing vacant property, and we are proposing to create a 4-story 4-family with a 3-foot side yard, and gives access to a 25-foot rear yard that is predominantly grass and plant with 2 on-site trees planted at the rear. There will be a retaining wall that's holding the properties towards the rear. That retaining wall is going to be built throughout the 4 homes that we're proposing, and we are proposing a sidewalk tree and a curb cut on Morris Avenue. Now, the plans as they were submitted was showing on the first floor plan, a 3-bedroom apartment with kitchen, living space, and 2 bathrooms, mechanical room, and with laundry, and a 2-car garage. However, we have to comply with the requirement for a van accessible parking space, and therefore this garage is not wide enough for that. So I propose to I'm going to share a alternate exhibit.
And for this application, this will be marked as A1.
This is the alternate exhibit, which is an alternate A1 plan where I've altered the first floor plan to shrink the size of the apartment from a 3-bedroom to a 2-bedroom, 1-bath, kitchen, living room, and dining room. And we kept a laundry closet, of course, opening into the apartment. And beyond that, we now have a tandem garage where we can park 2 cars side by side in the front, and a third car in the rear, where that third car has a full 16 feet in width for both the car as well as the buffer space that's required for a van accessible parking space. We will have a door that goes directly into the apartment, because that lower ground floor apartment is the handicap adaptable apartment. And the way this parking scheme will work is like any tandem parking scheme, there will be either a communication between the tenants, or perhaps the occupants of this apartment have 2 cars and they can work in tandem. And then, of course, there's the other car adjacent to it that is free and can be removed at will. That is the requirement, is that for a 4-family, we have 2 parking spaces. And I believe effectively we're providing 2 with, of course, the bonus 3rd space that it really is the handicap parking space. Now, it is also to say that if the handicap tenant only has 1 car, and most likely nobody will be parking behind him, or her, so that they can maneuver in and out of the garage. Of course, these are things that we really don't have answers for until the tenants actually come in and we see who comes in and who needs what. But I think that we're effectively complying with both the parking requirement of the city as well as with the handicap adaptable requirements. Now, the floor plan, other than that, we are providing some mechanical closets inside the garage, which is permitted. We have the same stair that goes to the second floor to give access to the second floor apartment and the apartments on the third and fourth floor. The apartments on the upper floors are effectively the same as in the other building. There are 3 bedroom, 1 office, 2 bathroom, mechanical laundry closet, living space. The second floor apartment also has the same balcony as shown on the other, and the upper floors are effectively the same. And the elevation is as was depicted in the rendering that I previously shared.
Okay, and I'll just ask the board. My only question for the board is if they'd like to see the rendering again for this application.
Mr. Trafficante has his hand raised.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I just have 2 quick questions for Mr. Fernandez. Mr. Fernandez, to make this parking space in the garage handicap accessible, I think you have to have a clear height of at least 98 or 96 inches. My question to you is very simple. Do you have enough height in this garage for a roll-up garage door and let's say a 98-inch handicap accessible van?
Yes, we're providing 9 feet.
All right.
Clear. So I believe that would suffice.
For both the roll-up door and the height of the van?
No, that's our ceiling height. Our ceiling height is 9 foot 4 inches.
So that'll provide you enough space to fit a roll-up garage door and still have room underneath for, say, a 98-inch handicap accessible van. That's the question.
Yes, that's correct.
Second question. I think your survey shows a monitoring well in front of this property. I don't know if it's in the public right of way or not. Can you provide testimony? What is it there for? Who does it serve? What is its future disposition? Has there been abatement? You know, the whole 9 yards.
Trafficante, the whole 9 yards. I mean, that's an open statement. Did you
Well,
include this in your review letter?
Yes, we asked for testimony regarding the monitoring well up front.
Yes.
Okay.
The monitoring well, is it in front of this site or the one of the adjacent sites? Because
Well, I think it's in between, on the extended property line between this site and the neighboring lot.
yeah, because the one I see seems to be on the sidewalk.
Wow.
I don't have any knowledge of these monitoring wells and who's checking them. I believe there was a environmental cleanup done on this site.
Yeah.
I believe the owner or the council could possibly enlighten us as to what has transpired.
Yeah, I'll just weigh in to say that I believe, Mr. Trafficante, the monitoring well you're referring to is in the public right of way. It is off the property itself. But yeah, it's my understanding that this exact site does not have any monitoring wells or further environmental cleanup required.
Wow. So, all right, be that as it may, that monitoring well, though it's in the public right of way, do you know if there's still an issue?
I believe that everything has been abated, from my understanding. I can confirm that with the owner, but I don't believe there's anything left to abate.
Should the board request, is that something the owner could provide as a recommended condition of approval, a letter of abatement or a letter of, regarding the monitoring well, that it's, been abandoned, it's no longer in effect, there's no concerns, that there's no problems, it can be removed, buried, abandoned, capped.
Again, the only thing I'll say, Mr. Trafficante, is I just don't believe that it applies to this property. So I'm not sure the owner would necessarily be able to provide something that proves a negative. That's all I can say.
Mr. Wine and Mr. Trafficante. Mr. Trafficante, where do you see evidence of it? Is it on the DEP site or is it on a
It's on the
that map.
survey.
It's on this survey.
It's in the survey in the public right of way for Morris Avenue, based on the extended side yard property line between address number 343 Morris Avenue and the address for number 345 Morris Avenue.
Right, and it's my understanding, Mr. Traficante, it's just because there is environmental cleanup that has been done in the area. Again, it's not particular to this site.
Well, no further questions.
All right. So, Mr. Wine, so do we have any information from the DEP or anything like that?
In speaking with the owner, there's no information because there's been no environmental issues on this property.
Is the well something that's going to be, when you're building, it's going to remain in between the two?
Here, if I may, Madam
Yeah.
Chair, I'll pull up this survey just so you can see where it is and that it has nothing to do with the property. So if you can see my screen, and this was
Yeah.
submitted with the plans, it's in the public right of way, kind of on the property line, so has no impact on our driveway, has no impact on our property at all.
Okay, it's on the sidewalk.
In fact, it's in front of the existing fence that's there. It's
Okay.
on the sidewalk. Yeah.
All right. All right. Any other questions from any commissioners? For Mr. Fernandez? No? Okay.
So I'll turn it over then very briefly to Ms. Trina, again, who can walk through her planning testimony.
Okay. Thank you. So again, for the record, the site is located within the C1 zone where 4 family dwellings are permitted. This building is nearly identical to the one that was just approved by this board. While the site is deficient in lot area and width, the proposed development is still able to achieve a sufficient side yard on the south side per the ordinance, allowing a clear separation from the approved and any future development on the neighboring lots. We are, however, seeking relief for the side yard setback on the north side, where 3 feet is required and 0 feet is proposed. As part of the overall development plan, the proposed buildings will each be separated a minimum of 3 feet from each other, allowing them each to not be on top of one another. And at least one side yard will provide a breezeway to the rear of the property. Similarly, the overall development plan seeks to maintain a consistent building line along Morris Avenue, though each will be separated with a side yard. But as far as the front yard setback, they will remain consistent. We're also seeking relief for building and lot coverage. However, the proposed buildings will include a very large rear yard, which promotes MLUL purpose C to promote light, air, and open space. And I'm just stating for the record that we are now providing a rear yard, whereas we were not for 339 Morris. That being said, I don't believe the granting of these variances will pose a substantial detriment to the public good. Again, this use is permitted and the building will blend in beautifully with the existing and proposed other residential developments on the block. The project promotes Newark's housing goals to create 3,000 more homes by 2030, also supports owner-occupant opportunities. Project also supports MLUL purposes A, G, and I, and it's my opinion that these variances can be granted under the C2 criteria.
Thank you. And Marcella, just for the record, again, we can comply by eliminating what Ms. Gruhl has identified as fencing and illumination variances. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, perfect. So I have nothing further from Ms. Trina.
All right. Commissioners, do any of you have any questions? Mr. Traficante and Ms. Gruhl. Ms. Gruhl first.
Very quickly, is there a variance? Thank you, Madam Chair. Is there a variance for rear yard setback? I just want to clarify that because we had that in our memo. I don't know whether that still is relevant.
Let me double check.
I can confirm that there is. It's 30 feet required and we have 25 feet.
Okay, that's what I just wanted to clarify that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so it's a deviation of 5 feet, and it allows for, really to maximize the building here and provide the additional apartments within the units. And I think overall the fact that we are able to still provide a rear yard here, I think that it serves as a better planning alternative.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh,
Thank you both. Mr. Trafficante?
Yes, Madam Chairwoman. That margin well is still a claw in my throat. Would you be willing, Mr. Wine, to have your client extend it to grade and put some kind of cover over it so it's accessible to whoever needs to get at it? Should that not be abandoned, since you can't tell me either way the status?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely say yes to that. I have no problem as long as the DEP has no problem with that as well.
All right, it's something you may have to find out, or your client may need to find out before you pour sidewalks in the public right of way. So, but all right,
Yeah.
you're amenable to that. All right, at a minimum, in case it's still an active well. Can't just bury it and forget it. That's all I want to put on the record.
Of course.
All right? Thank you. Now no further questions.
All right. Any other questions, commissioners? I see AJ, but maybe not. All right. Are there members, if there are members of the public that have any questions with regards to this application for the home at 343 Morris Avenue, please raise your hands or dial *9 at this time.
Seeing none.
All right. Given that we see none, we need someone to present the motion.
Motion to move it.
Second.
Okay, moved by Commissioner Purdy, seconded by Commissioner Roundtree. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Purdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Austin,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles. It's probably still on hold. Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Roundtree,
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Commissioner De Silva,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes, your application has been approved.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving on. Number 4, CPB 2576 is 345 Morris Avenue.
Sure. So good evening again, Madam Chair, members of the board, Benjamin Wine of Prime 2 Bell and Maselli, on behalf of the applicant 353 Morris NJ LLC. Once again, this is an application for preliminary and final site plan approval along with bulk variance relief for the property located at block 254, lot 10.10, and that is 345 Morris Avenue, for the record, as well located in the C1 zone. Once again, this is a 25 by 100 lot that is located as part of the former Clinton Milk Company's facility. And we're here this evening proposing a 4-family, 4-story building that will consist of this very, very similar, if not identical, layout and amenity program to 343 Morris Avenue that you just heard. We do have the same variances as well as 343 Morris Avenue, including for building and impervious coverage, for front yard and rear yard setback, as well as for one of the sides. I will also indicate for the record that, again, we did read Ms. Gruel's letter, and we can remove the variance relief for the fencing and the illumination standards that she identified. Lastly, as well, it's for the lot size, as we've seen before. Once again, I have the same witnesses for you this evening, so without further ado, Mr. Fernandez.
Mr. Fernandez, you're accepted by the board, and you can proceed with your testimony.
Thank you. So I'd like to share the exhibit, which is again 345 Morris Avenue. As you can see, it's a similar site, 25 by 100, which we are developing with the 75 by 22 building with the 25-foot rear yard, with the grass area and 2 on-site trees planted in the rear, as well as trash enclosure. We are planting a shade tree on the sidewalk in front, and we will have the same setup as shown before for the parking, which I'll share again.
For the record, this would be A1 for the 345 Morris application.
So this is the similar layout that we're presented with the 3-car garage on the ground floor, two-bedroom apartment and 1 bath on the ground floor as well, and then 3 beds and 1 office on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th floors. The same, all apartments have access to a laundry, and I believe all the glazing requirements are met by the elevations.
Okay, and George, just again, you have no problem complying with Mr. Trafficante's technical comments in his letter?
No, we do not.
Okay, so Madam Chair, that would conclude my examination of Mr. Fernandez.
All right, any questions for Mr. Fernandez? For this application? The address, this is 345. This is the one at the end of no questions. All right, your next witness.
I will bring back up Ms. Trina to testify to the relief sought here this evening and its consistency with the master plan.
Okay, so again, for the record, the site is located within the C1 zone where 4-family dwellings are permitted. Again, while the site is deficient in lot area and width, the proposed development is still able to achieve a sufficient side yard on the south side, allowing clear separation from the approved and any future development on the neighboring lots. As part of the overall development plan, the buildings will be separated 3 feet from each other, and we will maintain a consistent building line along the frontage. We're also seeking relief for the building and lot coverage as well as the rear yard setback. However, the proposed building will include a backyard, which promotes MLUL Purpose C. That being said, I don't believe the granting of these variances will pose a substantial detriment to the public good. Use is permitted. The proposed building will blend in very nicely with the other permitted approved buildings. The project promotes the Newark master plan to create 3,000 more homes by 2030, also promotes MLUL purposes A, G, and I, and it's my opinion these variances can be granted under the C2 criteria.
Thank you, Ms. Trina.
All right. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Trina? All right, we need a motion.
Motion.
Oh, public. Madam Chair, public.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Members of the public, if you have any questions with regards to this application, please press *9 or raise your hand.
Seeing none.
All right. So at this time, we don't have any members of the public who have expressed an interest in raising any questions, comments, concerns. So if someone would like to present a motion with regards to the application CPB 2576.
Move it.
Moved by Commissioner Purdy.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Austin. Am I correct? Yes. All right, Madam
Yes.
Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Purdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Austin,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Roundtree, you're muted.
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner Da Silva,
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes, your application has been approved. All
Madam
right.
Chair.
Yes. Item number 5 on the agenda is CPB 25 through 77. The address is 341 Morris Avenue.
Good evening, Madam Chair, members of the board. Benjamin Wine of Prime 2 Val and Maselli on behalf of the applicant 353 Morris NJ LLC Once again, this application is for preliminary and final site plan approval, along with bulk variance relief, this time for the property located at 341 Morris Avenue, which for the record is block 254, lot 10.08, still within the C1 zone. Again, this is the fourth of our 4 applications here this evening to kind of complete the set, where again, this is part of the former Clinton Milk Company's industrial facility. And once again, we are proposing to develop the property with a 4-story, 4-family residential building. And again, we have the same relief as we've had on the last few applications for the lot size at 2,500 square feet and 25 feet wide, as well as for building coverage at 60%, lot coverage at 78%, front yard setback at 0 feet, rear yard setback at 25 instead of 30 feet, and one of our side yard setbacks being on the property line. Once again, we can comply by eliminating the variances and waivers identified by Ms. Rule with respect to fencing and lighting. And again, we'll comply with everything else in Mr. Traficante's letter that's not independently identified and testified to this evening. But with that, Madam Chair, for the final time this evening, I will turn it over to Mr. Fernandez.
All right. Mr. Fernandez, you've already been sworn. You're accepted by the board.
Thank you. So this is the proposed 341 Morris Avenue, existing site vacant, 25 by 100.
Yeah.
We're proposing to develop it with a 75 by 22 building with parking in the front and a 25-foot rear yard, 3-foot side yard. We will have trees on the rear yard, 2 on-site trees, the trash enclosure, and we will have a shade tree in the front, and of course the access to the parking. And once again, I'll share the alternate exhibit.
And again, this will be A1 for the 341 Morris application.
Where we have the first floor plan that was altered. We made the apartment 2-bedroom, 1 bath with living space, and we have the 3-car garage in the front and access from the garage to the handicap accessible space apartment on the first floor. The second, third, and fourth floors are similar as previously submitted. 3-bedroom, 1 office, 2 baths, and mechanical with laundry and of course living space. And we are complying with the glazing requirements on this one as well, and the in all elevations. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Mr. Fernandez, how does this home, how is it different than the others? You said I saw the tree in the front and then they're parking in the back. Is it front, back, front, back? Is that how the block is going or no?
No, the house on the corner is going to have the parking in the rear behind the house.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 homes are going to have all the parking in the front.
Okay.
A garage, 3-car garage for each of those 3 homes.
All right.
I have a question
And the
about
tree
it.
doesn't interfere with the garage.
I have one question.
It does not.
Okay. Commissioner Purdy.
Yes, are any of those apartments, any of them affordable?
They are not being proposed as affordable units at this
None
time.
of them, right? Okay, all right, thank you.
So was Mr. Freund proposing, is the owner proposing that they are all going to be owner occupied? One might be owner occupied, or is that going to depend on who purchases the projects, the buildings?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's the latter. I mean, his experience in developing smaller multifamily elsewhere in Newark as well has been to take the model of, like I said, instead of a large building with more apartment units, it's to create buildings where there's an option for it to be owner occupied. Obviously, we can't guarantee it, but his idea is that if sold to the right person who would like to live there, there's an opportunity to do that and have other tenants effectively help defray the costs of home ownership, which I think is a great goal for the city.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. So I do have Ms. Trina back as well, unless there are other questions for Mr. Fernandez.
Seeing none.
Okay, I'll be very brief. Again, for the record, the site is located in the C1 zone where the use is permitted. Site is deficient in lot area and width, as well as side yard setback. However, we are still going to maintain a breezeway on both sides of the building. Part of the overall development plan, including all 4 of the proposed buildings, they will each be separated 3 feet from each other and have a consistent building line across the front yard. We're also seeking relief for building and lot coverage as well as rear yard setback. However, we are proposing a rear yard, promoting MLU Purpose C. I don't see any substantial detriments to the public good. Use is permitted. Parking is compliant. Project promotes the Newark master plan to add more housing and also promotes MLU purposes A, G, and I. And I believe that these variances can be granted under the C2 criteria.
Thank you, Ms. Trina.
All right. Commissioners, any questions for Ms. Trina? All right, seeing none at this point in time, members of the public, if any of you have any questions with regards to this application at the address of 341 Morris Avenue, please press *9 or raise your hand.
Seeing one.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Reverendo. If you could please unmute and turn on your camera.
Okay, let's see if I can, how I'm gonna do that.
Good evening, Mr. Reverendo.
Good evening.
Does your camera work?
I'm trying to see how to get it to work, but yeah.
It should be down at the bottom on your left-hand side of your screen, perhaps. There should be an icon that says video.
I don't see it on this one. Oh, no, I only see audio. Mute, chat, CC more.
Okay, no
All
worries.
right. Do you solemnly swear the testimony about to give this board shall be truthful?
Yes.
Thank you. Please state your name and address for the record.
John Reverendo, concerned citizen of Newark, New Jersey. Have property in Newark. I live out of the town. I live in Kearney, but I have property in Newark. My question is, 17-foot garage. My apologies. I could have questioned this on the other ones, but I had some technical difficulty. A 17-foot garage. How does a person on the left-hand car get out? Unless he's doing Dukes of Hazzard, he can't. My own garage is 18 feet and I can barely get out on the inside. So either we're just doing this for semantics, but the 2-car garage will not work. Even if you have 2 Toyota Corollas, a Camry, it will not work. You cannot get out of that car on the left-hand side unless you squeeze the other one in. So I don't know if this is just put on there for paperwork, but to tell you 17-foot garage, both people cannot get out of that car. Someone's going to have to either get out of their trunk or something. 17 feet doesn't work. And if you look at minimum standards, minimum codes, everyone's telling you it's the 20 feet to get comfortably out of a car. So that to me is a major concern. Also a major concern also is the amount of cars that are underneath that area for emissions to make sure that the carbon monoxide is not getting into those into the apartment down there. Thank you.
Thank you. Those are good questions.
Sure. So we can definitely address it. Mr. Fernandez, do you want to address it or would you like me to address it?
I mean, I can address it. In Newark, we've seen 8.5 wide parking spaces, hence the 17 feet width in garage. And we are providing a 3-car garage in this instance where you have the car that's parked in the rear and then 2 in the front. As I testified before, if it's somebody that has a handicapped van, most likely you will only park 2 cars and not 3. Again, this is something that you don't know who's going to come in and what kind of cars they have. until we, you know, actually get into renting these apartments. But the requirement is for 2. We are showing 3. I believe the garage can comfortably fit 2 cars. So that is my testimony.
Mr. Fernandez, is it fair to say that if for whatever reason it could not, again, being that we're only required 2 cars, the one in the front has to have the 16 feet wide for ADA requirements, and the one in the rear would just be a very, very wide parking space if there's not another car. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other members of the public? It's your time. Star 9 or raise hand.
Seeing none.
All right. Given that, we would like someone to present a motion.
Motion to move it.
Moved by Commissioner Purdy.
Some help here. We get some help.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Miles. All right, seconded by Commissioner Miles.
Nope, that was Austin.
That was you? Oh, Austin. Okay, so, pardon me. Look, I saw her unmute. Presented by Commissioner Purdy, seconded by Commissioner Austin. Madam Secretary, roll call, please.
Commissioner Purdy,
Yes.
Commissioner Austin,
Yes.
Commissioner Miles,
Yes.
Commissioner James,
Yes.
Commissioner Roundtree, Commissioner De Silva.
Yes.
Madam Chair,
Yes, Commissioner Roundtree. Present, not voting. All right. Your application has been approved. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the evening.
too.
All right. It is 9:03. We're going to speak this into existence. All right. So we're going to go in this order. We'll do the minutes, the memorialization, then we'll do the reorg last. Is that fine with everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we all received minutes for December 1st and December 8th. Has everyone had an opportunity to review the minutes?
Yes.
Yes. Were there any questions, comments, corrections to be made in the minutes? All right, none. All in favor of approving the minutes received for December 1st and December 8th, 2025?
Aye.
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 All right. Pause. So the public portion of the meeting is over.
Yes, so I will pause the recording.
What happened?
Recording stopped.